Howdy, friends and floor heads. Welcome to. Oh, no. Why is that blocking my face out? Hold on a second. All right. That's why. All right. Howdy, friends and floor heads. Now you can actually see my fat face. Welcome to our second episode of our Fear Itself live play. So we're playing basically a scenario based off of one of the things in the main second edition book called The Circle. And Fear Itself is a game that calls itself a game of horror that plunges ordinary people into a disturbing world of madness and violence. It is powered by the Gumshoe Investigative role-playing system. It's written by Robin D. Laws and Gareth Ryder Hanrahan, and it's available from our friends at Pelgrane Press. So real quick, something I probably should have done with episode 1 that I didn't do, but I'm going to do it now. There's a bit of a content warning. So you might see or hear adult language, adults talking about adult things, and there might be graphic descriptions of horror and or violence. So if you are triggered by that or you don't feel comfortable watching that, this might not be the best thing for you to watch. I've got Star Wars live plays. You can go watch those. Those are great. All right, so let's welcome my 4 players. Now, each of my players, they are patrons of Third Floor Wars. One of the benefits of supporting our work is you get the opportunity to play in one of my games. So I want to thank all of our patrons, not just these 4. Your support of $1 or more keeps the lights on. All right, let's get started. A lot has happened in the last 2 days. It's a Tuesday afternoon in Allentown, Pennsylvania, November of 1991. Our 4 characters are in the front lobby of a small private museum owned by a now deceased Austin Spence, who was a close friend of theirs. So, let's start with you, Shadika. How did this all start? All right, so they cannot hear Shadika. Okay, hold 1 second here. All right, says in fact everybody, but okay. So let's figure that out. Hold on. Give me just a second. All right, all right, I think everybody's back. Let's see. Can everybody see can we hear everybody else? Chat? Not yet. Okay, that's not good. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, it's going. How about now? Still no. All right, that's not good. All right, so let me figure this out. Give me just a second. I thank chat. Thank you so much. Let's. All right, so hold on a second here. Oh, I know why. Okay.
What did you break?
All right, everybody should be able to hear you now. Let's try it.
Hello.
Testing.
Floorheads.
Hello, foreheads.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah. All right.
Yay. Yay, team. Okay. Sorry about that. So, everybody, you got to start all over again, Shadika. So
That's fine. That's
how
fine.
did-
I can't do the joke again because it was like a one-time thing. So that's bad.
all right. So Shadika, how did we get here?
Okay. Okay. So our group met over the last 2 years doing a drug testing, participating in a testing an experimental drug over the last 2 years. Currently, well, in that moment, our group is meeting at the Veterans Lounge for our monthly meeting. This will be their second to last meeting. Arthur, one of the good group friends, he is the first to actually make it in, and which is weird because our friend Austin normally makes it first, so he has to help set up the seats, which I'm sure he wasn't expecting. Lucy and Randall comes in second with the coffee, and there's no sign of Lisa until 30 minutes after we start. Now, as the group is filling out their questionnaire to see if there's any about their life and side effects that the drug may be having that they may have because of the drug, there's a few major things that happen. One, Lisa blood pressure is normal. Arthur has better blood pressure. Randall and Lucy looks like they ran to the station. It's a bit high. Now, another notable thing that happened is all of Lucy's answers to the questionnaires was off by one. Her first name was in the last name area, and her last name was in the age area, etc. So she had to redo it. Now, this being horror, of course, Randall and Lucy both had headaches in the back of their head, low grade, and they decided not to share it on the questionnaire. So they are about an hour into the meeting, but there was still no Austin, so they decided to ask the lovely, kind nurse Sarah if if she heard from them. She didn't. As we're lightly talking, trying to finish up the rest of the questionnaires, Lucy is approached by Miss Kingsley, with whom is another participant in the study. Now, she asked about Austin and where his whereabouts are, but no one knows. Miss Kingsley pats Lucy on the hand, and Lucy notices a bruise on her. And of course, curiosity killed the cat. She asks what happened. She learns that Miss Kingsley's was mugged and Austin saved her 2 days ago. So she just wanted to give her thanks. Lucy promises that she will share that thanks with Austin next time that she sees him. So as it's slowly starting to wrap up, we realize Austin's not coming, so we decided to call him instead of pop up at his house. We called and no one answered, so we all shove ourselves into Lisa's four-door station wagon with the wood panel and head over to Austin's place.
All right. So we've got a missing Austin, a good friend. We wrap up the meeting. We head over to check on Austin. What happens next?
So we walk into Austin's house. We walk up to Austin's house. Power's out. Not power's out. I'm sorry. The lights are off. Doors appeared to be ajar. Opened it. Started making our way in the house, looking for Austin, and comes to find out he was found dead. Yeah, he was in a display case that we built and set up. Several of us in this group, and the bear's claw was through his chest cavity, if I recall, or somewhere on his body, and the display case was full of blood. We kind of freaked out and called 911. Got police to show up. Spoke with the officer and was told to that we would be in touch at a later time. We made our way back to Lucy's bar. Fine establishment, I might add. They had my favorite cocktail, and just kind of reminiscent or collect our thoughts about the events of the day and how crazy it was. And Lucy had mentioned to the group about these bruises and that were on Miss Kingsley. So we started talking about that and connecting the dots, and decided to call Miss Kingsley. Looked it up in the good old white pages, and woke her up. And God bless her, she kept me on the phone for an hour and a half, or kept Randall on the phone for an hour and a half. Some noteful things that were mentioned during that conversation. Um, Found out that yes, she was in fact mugged, and Austin stepped in. Um, Another odd thing is she repeated herself many times. Okay. And then she forgot that Austin was dead by the end of the conversation. So a little strange, but we were able to break the conversation up. Um, and then after that conversation, Randall communicated that with the group. Uh, and I believe it was Lucy started having another headache. And then we started talking about these headaches and realized that most of us have had kind of the same thing going on. Um, Kind of fade to black at that point, and go into the next day. And a detective calls us in for interviews to discuss what was found and get some final statements. Some noteful things that were brought up. There was a 1/3 written in blood, and in fact Austin's blood, inside the actual cabinet. So they think that he actually wrote that himself, and it's kind of unknown at this point what that 1/3 is. Um, she did focus on if we'd taken our doses as prescribed, or if we cheat on that a little bit. And she kind of honed in on that, so that's something to kind of take note of. And then Terrence Bolt was brought up. Terrence Bolt was the gentleman that was actually brought in by the police. He was the guy that actually tried to mug Miss Kingsley, and Austin stepped in. They brought him into uh, uh, the jail the night that happened, let him out on bond, and comes to find out they think he is the actual killer. Now, they were very keen and quick on putting everything on him, and something was suspicious about that. So once we got done with that conversation with the detective, we kind of reconvened out front. Noticed another black car, that same black car driving by again, and good old Arthur with his notepad taking notes of time, date, speed, and whatever else of this vehicle. Um, and we decided to call Nurse Sarah. I say we. Archer tried twice, got hung up on twice. Something about what he said kind of threw her off. And so Lucy, being the charmer she is, jumped in and was able to get some sort of conversating going with her. And basically, the nurse Sarah told us that she quit. She has nothing to do with Blue Gold anymore, and for us to just forget everything. And she hung up on us, wasted 75 cents of our hard-earned money. So a little frustrating. But after that call, our group as a whole decides that we're going to head over to Austin's house to uh, figure out what's truly going on.
What happens next? Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
So who's next?
I believe I am fourth. I think Vic is third.
I thought I was 2, but hang on.
I can flex if we want. Whatever.
That's
we
okay.
want.
So as a reminder, you guys then decide maybe you want to go back to the house, right?
Yes.
You decide you want to go back
Yeah.
to Austin's house. And Vic, do you feel comfortable covering that?
Sure, yeah, I can do that. We decided to go back to Austin's house because things seem a little weird, and it doesn't really seem like the police are really doing their jobs. They seem really focused on this Terrence Bolt person. So we go back and kind of sort of technically break in. Like, we find the key under the We find the key, but we're also technically not supposed to be in an active crime scene. Lisa brought her camera along for plausible deniability reasons. And we enter into the house and kind of split up into two groups a little bit. Lisa and Lucy take the bottom floor with the main museum area, and Randall and Arthur go upstairs. Excuse me. To search the second floor where they didn't really get a chance to look around last time, thanks to Lisa freaking out after finding
Dead.
Austin.
Austin.
Excuse me. Gosh. So on the lower area, Lisa's walking around taking pictures. Lucy's rifling through stuff. She finds the cash box, which still has money in it, which is slightly suspicious. And Randall and Arthur are searching around upstairs. Eventually, they go to Austin's office, where Randall finds a badly taxidermied pigeon, which is interesting because we've never seen anything that Austin has taxidermied that has been bad. I believe a name, Eric Teller, yeah. Eric Teller is on the base of this pigeon. Randall hands it over to Arthur for reasons that I don't remember. I apologize.
That's okay.
And then they come back downstairs to check the guest book to see if there's an Eric Teller in the guest book, where our group reconvenes. And we start talking about the things we found. Some of the things Lucy found, along with the cash box, were medical records. And Randall had found in the bathroom upstairs a very old blue gold box filled with Q-tips that looked very similar to the boxes that we get our drugs in for the trial. So anyway, we all reconvene, and Lucy's showing us the paperwork, and we're looking at the pigeon and stuff. And Lisa kind of figures out that the 1-3 found in the display case with Austin's body might in fact be a clue that we are in fact not the second drug trial, but the third. Because the 1-3 and then on the medical records were marked as 3- whatever.
And that's when we faded. And let's go ahead and fade back in from black. The four of you are in kind of the front lobby area of the museum. You've collected together. You've kind of exchanged what was found downstairs, what was found upstairs. The four of you are starting to piece things together, exchanging information. Lisa makes the revelation that she doesn't think that there's only been 2 test groups, that there was a third group that you didn't know about. And as the four of you start to let that sink in, you hear a car pull up outside.
I'm gonna look through the window.
So the curtains are closed, but you go up to the front window and you kind of push the curtain aside. You can see a cop car has pulled up. Cop steps out, and he's actually walking to meet a middle-aged woman across the street. And you see them talk for a second, then you see her point to Austin's house. You see him nod. You see him put his pad away, and it looks like he might be headed this way.
Grab our stuff. Let's get out. I don't want to get arrested.
Yeah. Who has the pigeon? Who has the pigeon?
I'm grabbing the papers. Just
Yeah. I'd imagine Arthur has the pigeon and the guest book, if I can hold on to that. Definitely startled, but ready to definitely get the heck out of Dodge.
So what are we doing?
Back door.
Is that what we're
Or
doing?
at least Lisa's going to the back door to get out.
All right, so Lisa starts heading through the main into the main museum, headed to the back door. What's the other three doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna follow suit.
Since I'm the only one not holding anything, I'm thinking I should just go meet this officer and stall while you guys get out of here.
All right, so they make it to the back door. You see the officer get to the front door, and it looks like he's trying to look into like the windows, but the windows are closed. You see him jury the doorknob, but if you remember, it was sealed, right, with an evidence sticker. He doesn't seem to want to do that. You can hear him step back down the stairs, and Randall, if you peek through the window, it looks like he's headed around.
Shoot.
Oh my god. I open that door. I'm opening it.
Okay.
Say, officer, are you looking to get in?
So
It was unlocked.
he stops, and you see him put his hand on his gun. He doesn't draw it. He goes, who are you?
Oh, officer, I'm a close friend of the recently departed. I was just worried about Austin's next of kin. I knew where his hidey key was, and I wanted to see if I can contact his family. I've known Austin for several years now. I helped build this place. I'm just here as a friend and hoping to close out his final needs.
Did you get clearance to come here? This is an active crime scene.
I was assured by Detective Gene Elroy that this investigation was over. That you guys had already got the guy, and you were looking to get. Or Terrence Bolt was the person that committed the crime. So I was under the assumption that this was done, and that's how it was sold to me.
All right, so let's quickly cut to the three of you out the back door. What were you doing?
Do we, where we are, do we hear the additional voices talking, or do we just hear Randall talking?
Once you get outside, you can hear the conversation happening around the front of the house.
Oh crap. Okay. How does his backyard look?
So the backyard, it's not a very big backyard. If you remember, the garden was up in the front yard area. In the backyard, you've got the small, what they call a one-car garage. You're not really sure whether a car would actually fit in there or not. And then there's a 6-foot wooden fence that runs all along the backyard. It looks like, based off of where you are, that there is another house on either side of all the fences. So you'd be in any fence you jump or go through, you would end up in somebody else's yard.
Are there bushes or trees or anything in this
Yep.
backyard?
Yep, there's bushes lining all of the fencing.
Okay. When we
Hide in a
get
bush.
outside, I want to lock the door.
Okay.
And then dive into a bush.
All right. So Lucy drives into a bush. It sounds like Lisa's doing the same thing. What's Arthur doing?
Yeah, he is a little bit behind them and sees them both dive into bushes, and he recognizes this. Maybe he has a weeping willow or something in his backyard, and he's loves that tree and kind of. It's not comfortable diving in a bush, but he hides behind a tree.
Okay. All right. So we cut back to Randall. Randall, I need a roll. What are we using to try to convince our friend here that you should not be going into the back of the cop car?
How about reassurance? I'm reassuring him that I know what I'm talking about.
So I would allow you to use your reassurance to lower the difficulty, but I'll still need a roll. So if you want to spend a point of your reassurance, it'll lower the difficulty of your roll. Do you want to do that?
That's good. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to take your reassurance down to 0.
Okay.
And what roll are we going to use? Actually, you know what? I'm just going to let you use the reassurance.
Just reassurance.
Yeah. So
All right.
cop goes, and so you got this cleared with the detective. Do you have anything on you? Did you take anything from the house?
No, officer. You can check me right now. All I was looking for is next of kin, family. Austin was very quiet about his life before I met him.
Okay.
Just seeing if there's someone that can help with probate
Do you have ID?
on the house. Yes. Grab their
So,
ID and
yep.
hand it
So
to him.
he takes your ID. He spends some time writing it down, pulls it out, and he goes, "Where's your car? Did you drive here?"
I did. It's down the street. I'm having car trouble. It's right around the corner.
All right. You need to head out. I don't want to see you back here.
Fair enough.
So he walks up to the front door, checks it, closes it back up, kind of a little ticked off. I think that evidence sticker has been torn. He's probably going to have to get a new one. Starts walking around back. I now need some hiding rolls.
All right.
All right.
Can
So-
I-
I'm going to start with Miss Lisa. Let's see. Lisa, you've got a 5 in hiding.
My sheet's showing me a 6.
Oh, even better. I was looking at
Nice.
Lucy. Yes, you have a 6 in hiding. Do you want to spend any of those before you roll? So while she decides that, I set a difficulty, and the difficulty can be as low as 1 or as high as 8, 9, or 10, but usually on average it's 4. So what they'll be doing is they'll be rolling a d6. And if they hit the difficulty or higher, then their roll is successful. They have the option, though, to spend some of their points. So she has got a 6 in hiding, and then let's say that Lisa decides to spend 2 points of that. So she's really hiding. That adds +2 to her roll. So let's say the difficulty was a 4, and she rolled only a 2, then she would still be successful because that 2 becomes a 4, and she would be successful. So that is what Vic is deciding right now.
So that was actually my decision to spend 2.
Okay, so we're going to drop your hiding down to 4. Let's go ahead and roll a die and make sure you add 2 to it.
Yes.
Very
Ooh.
nice. Miss Lucy, also in the bushes. Miss Lucy, your hiding is a 5. Do you wish to spend any of those points?
Yeah, I want to spend 2.
Okay, that's going to bring you down to 3. Let's go ahead and have our roll.
Alright.
Good that you spent the 2.
Oh my
You are
God.
successful. Last but not least, Arthur. Now, Arthur, before you make a decision with your 5 hiding, I want you to know that you're going to have a different difficulty level than the 2 ladies in the bushes because you just hid
course.
behind a tree.
Yeah, I'm not sure an elderly man can jump into a bush, so I think a tree is.
If you wish to spend any of your hiding.
Yeah, I mean, I'll follow suit. We'll burn 2 to go down to 3.
All right, you are down to 3 hiding.
All right, let's see. Oh man, I can't hit a roll.
Oh no.
Cap goes, who's behind the tree? Come out with your hands. Hands where I can see them.
Pretend you're a bird.
All right. So Arthur, he's got this book in his hands. He has this pigeon in his hands, and
Stuffed pigeon.
he's
Unlike Randall, you took shit from the house.
Just drop it on the ground.
So he kind of like, he's behind the tree. He kind of like drops it like this, and he's got his notebook out. So there was something that he might have seen in his hands. He has his notebook, and he's writing about like looking up at this tree, and he goes, "Oh my goodness, it's grown so much since the last time."
He's got his hand on the gun. The gun is still in the holster.
He instantly his hands go up, and he goes, "Is there a problem?"
Identify yourself. Who are you?
Artur Zukov.
Why are you in this? Why are you in this backyard? You don't. This is not your home.
I'm here with my I'm here with my and he's like babbling, and he goes, where am I? He's this isn't Oak Street. And he has his notebook. He goes, who are you?
All right, so we're gonna need a roll, or an investigative skill. Let's see here. What do you think fits here?
Oh man. Well, he's
You have
definitely
anything in
playing up.
impersonate?
No.
You don't.
He's definitely playing up on his actual like he has some sort of
Condition, yeah.
Yeah,
So as
so-
far as interpersonal, all you have is reassurance. And in general, unless you take off running right now, we could use fleeing. So I'm wondering if you can somehow use reassurance right
Run
now.
for it.
yeah, okay. So he looks, he closes his notebook and he goes, I'm so sorry. I assure you, officer, I'm studying the trees. You know, the certain trees need to be certain distances away from others, and I need to make sure. I assure you, I did not know anything.
So you see his hand go away from the gun at this point. I think done his threat assessment has changed on poor Artur. He goes, "Sir, do you know where you live?"
30, 32 Oak Street?
This is
No, 30.
Sir, do you have a driver's license?
Oh no, I'm far too old to drive.
Okay. Do you have somebody we can contact? Do you have a friend we can contact?
Oh no. My daughter, you could try her, but it's late. It's late. I don't know.
Sir, it's 10 o'clock in the morning.
Can Randall see what's going on?
And he's
If he hung around the front yard?
That's up to Randall.
Once the cop went back there, I would have hung out and kind of peered back to see if I was needed again.
Okay, so Randall,
I'm going to run up on that cop, not in a threatening manner.
What?
cop immediately turns. He goes, "I told you to go back to the car. Don't you move." He points to you, Artur.
No, officer, that's my friend. He's got a medical condition. If you've talked to him for 2 seconds, you'll know this. I need to take him home.
So he's with you, sir. Do you know
He's
this man?
with me.
Arthur looks. He goes.
When he looks at Arthur, I'm like,
I don't know this man. I've never met him in my life.
Says Randy. It's good. Yes, it's good to see you.
officer, we're friends of Austin. We were part of
That's
this
fine.
trial.
That's fine. Just
Okay.
take him with you. Just take him, sir. You shouldn't be wandering around. And you. I mean, with him, like you can't just leave him like hiding behind trees. I don't. With friends
Point
like
taken.
you, just get him
Point
out.
taken.
Just get him out.
You got it. Arthur, where's your pigeon? Where's your pigeon? Officer, look at this pigeon. It'll say everything.
It's a important pigeon.
The pigeon is behind the tree. So.
What pigeon?
Oh, the pigeons! Yes, they're out in flux today. As he points up, because I'm
I
not
get the
sure.
hint. I start walking them out front.
Okay. All right. So you head out. So we're going to do a little bit of a montage here with both of our ladies of the bush watching this. Lisa and Lucy are doing their very best to not laugh and doing a much better job than Victoria and Shadika are. So you see him go. He tests the lock on the back. Randall and Arthur head off to the station wagon. He goes back to his cop car. He gets a new kit. We see Randall and Arthur see him resealing the door. Eventually, he hops back in the car and he heads off.
I will say, Arthur, as he sees the cop kind of walk away, he's definitely going to pick up like the evidence that we had that was behind the tree.
So
Maybe
before you do that, when the cop car comes off and you guys kind of re-enter the scene after the cop is gone, you do notice that our lovely neighbor is looking through her window.
I'm gonna cross the street and go talk to our lovely neighbor.
Oh, good Lord. Okay.
I'll pick those items up in the meantime.
All right. So, Randall, you walk across the street to nosy neighbor.
Man, is it a female?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ma'am, I'm so sorry. I'm sure you've seen me around. I'm friends of Austin's. My name's Randall. We're do you know anything about his family? We're just trying to button up some last things for him. He's no longer with us anymore. I'm not sure if you're aware, but that's why we're here. I apologize if we startled you in any way.
So she pushes the window up, and she goes, I guess you do look kind of familiar. Yeah. Yeah, I know that Austin died. I heard about it. And they've got the funeral announcements in the morning paper. So I don't know if you've picked up the paper, but I haven't decided whether I'm going to go or not. Are you going to go to the funeral?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we've been friends for several years, and I helped him actually build the taxidermy museum across the road. Although odd, it meant a lot to him.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I called the police. I didn't know that you were friends and.
Oh, not a problem. I just didn't want you to be alarmed any further. That's all.
Okay. Okay. So she slams the window shut.
As I'm walking, I'll see you at the funeral tomorrow.
All right, Lisa and Lucy. Arthur, what are we doing?
Oh, I'm a get out the bush once Arthur pick up the evidence. I say like a few seconds just in case and get out. Woo! That was great.
Yeah. Arthur's picking up the evidence. He goes, kind of talking to himself. He looks up at the sky. He goes, "I'm gone, but not that far gone." He kind of shuffles it into like maybe a messenger bag and hurries himself towards the front of the house.
Well, at least we're lucky that the police didn't want to ask any more questions. So,
all right, are we heading back to the car?
Yeah.
All right. So,
I'm gonna go ahead and exit the bush, but like as I'm leaving, I'm taking pictures of the house, for the plausible deniability.
Yep.
Because this is my job technically.
All right. So yeah, you take some pictures of the house as you're going around it. So the four of you sit in the car. Before Lisa even starts the keys, there's kind of a silence. I think all of you are kind of exchanging glances. What's next?
That damn Lincoln.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
for sure.
Yes, the black van that is plaguing my thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah. Lisa, what was that guy's name? What was the dealer's name? I think you took my chair out. You could do it again.
It's Honest Abe's Lincoln Ford Mercury.
I love it.
Honest Abe Lincoln's Lincoln Ford.
Yeah.
It's honestly Abe Lincoln's Lincoln.
Right. All right. So are you guys headed to the dealership?
Yeah.
I think so.
All
We're going to take my car's still around the corner, so we're just going to go grab my car and we'll meet him over there.
Okay. So Randall and
good.
Arthur, you head to the two-seater that Randall drives. Lisa and Lucy, they head off, and Lisa starts the car up, and you guys start heading towards that. It's not too far away, and it's kind of an uncomfortable silence. So Lisa turns on the radio.
All right, that was the latest hit from C&C Music Factory. I'm Allentown Allen, bringing you the latest hits on WFER, Allentown's hit station. Up next is our Everything But Billy Joel block, but first, a message from our friends at Honest Abe Lincoln's Lincoln.
Oh my God.
77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. but not all cars.
So come on down to Honest Abe's Lincoln Ford Mercury dealership, where we got the best cars around. New cars, used cars, trucks, vans, and sedans, we got them all. But I can't afford a car. Well, hold on to your stovepipe hat, Sonny. We've got a deal for you. 1,000 down? No. 500 down? No, sir. 100 down? Not even that. Head on down to Lincoln's Lake in my Thanksgiving Day weekend. Drive off with a shiny new or used car for only
$4.7
down. That's right, a new or used car for only $87 down. Continental, Mark 7, Town Cars, Caprice, Montego, Grand Marquis, Sable, Tracer, Aerostar, Bronco, E150, Escort, Explorer, F-150, and so much more. So come visit Honest Abe's Lincoln Ford Mercury off Interstate 78 in Ennis Junction, where we have the best prices in town. Honest.
Oh my god, I hate that commercial.
That was amazing.
Lisa
That could have been the whole
turned off
freaking
the
episode.
radio.
That's amazing.
Oh my god. So by sheer coincidence, you are headed over to the Lincoln dealership and you happen to hear their ad. Not that odd. He runs those ads all the time. A quick thank you to Doug for that. That was absolutely fantastic. All right. So montage as you're driving. Does any discussions that want to happen in either car before we get there?
Lucy would say after the radio, after the ad, she was like, wouldn't it be great if like we could just listen to music without ads? I mean, it would be absolutely
man.
amazing on the radio inside the car.
It
Would be
would.
revolutionary.
It'll never happen.
Fast
though.
forward, Lucy's on the
I
board of
know.
Sirius Radio. So I had this idea. All right. So you guys pull up to Honest Abe's Lincoln dealership. Step out, and guy's wearing a wide collar suit that, I mean, it's 1991, but this suit screams 1981. He's got slicked back hair. He's got a thin pencil mustache. I think Lisa and Lucy get their first step out. Ladies, what brings you to Honest Abe's Lincoln?
I look at Lisa for a second, and I look at Mr. Lincoln, and she's gonna say, "Well, hopefully you can help us. We are wondering if you had any black vans in stock with tinted windows."
So just real quick, Shadika, it's actually kind of it's a
Oh.
town car.
Oh, yeah, I say that instead.
Yep.
Town car.
Yep. So are you looking to buy yourself a brand new Lincoln? We've got several town cars we can show you.
Yeah,
Now, did you bring your husband?
they're on their way.
Wonderful. Well, you know what? I've got a town car, and you're going to love it because it's got tons of drink holders. Let me show you. Come on over this way.
Perfect. And Lucy is going to take this loss for the team and just go.
Is Lisa going with Lucy?
Yeah. I'm in physical pain, but yes.
Randall and Arthur pull up. You guys see them walking away with our salesman.
I think we want to do
who's
a
gonna
hot
have
lap.
to play this?
Go.
Arthur,
I'm looking.
you have age. You can do it.
Okay. I'm a little
No.
older, but
So our salesman sees the two of you walking up and he goes, "Well, which of you lovely ladies is married to that man?" Pointing to Randall.
Oh, wait. Lucy is going to say, well, Lisa and him's been married for like a good number of years now.
Oh my god.
Wonderful. Sir,
Betrayal.
come on over here. I've been talking to your wife and her pretty little friend here. Let's get you in a brand new Lincoln. Sir?
Jesus. I don't even know where we're at right now. I go shake his hand and I say, "Show me some Lincolns. Let's go."
All
go.
right, come on over here now. Your wife, lovely woman, says that you're looking for a 4-door Lincoln. Does that sound right? And you're looking for a black Lincoln?
That's right. Yeah, that's
You'll
Right
be
up my alley.
amazed. I've got just the one for you. Come on over here. So he takes you over, down through the lot, and takes you to a brown Chevy Town car. He goes, now, what do you think of this thing here? This is a pretty little piece here. You'll notice it does have the 4 doors just like you asked. Opens up the doors. He goes, ma'am, you'll see here, you got drink holders here. You got drink holders there. You got a mirror that you can flip right down so you can do your makeup while your husband's driving. Everything's all set up for you. It's nice and perfect, nice and shiny. I can get you in this car for $89 down.
What? I have a question.
Yes,
If you
ma'am.
don't mind. By any chance, because I've been going with them looking at cars in different states as well, because they're very particular about what they want. By any chance, has anyone brought a black Lincoln Town car recently?
People buy black Lincoln cars here all the time. This is the best place to get them. You know that. Immediately turns his attention back to Randall. So, sir, you see here, we'll be able to get you in this car nice and easy. What can we do to make this happen?
I look at the salesman real quick. Who does he think I'm married to? Lisa or Lucy?
Lisa.
Lisa. All right.
Thanks to Lucy.
Yeah. I look at Lisa and kind of look at the car. I look at the salesman and say, "This isn't black." And I walk. I turn away and I start walking away, hoping he's going to chase me.
Oh, sir. Yeah, you know what? You're right. You wanted a black car. Now, does it have to be a Lincoln?
Yeah, it does. I've seen a few black Lincolns in town, and they are just fantastic. I really want to pick one up. So, do you have anything else here on the lot?
Don't have any black Lincolns. I've got some really other nice. I got some nice cars. I've got some of you, and if you want a used car, I've got some great used cars for you. And I can order you one. So if you want to come, you know what? Let's go back. Let's sit down in the office. Let's you and I talk. We can get some nice coffee and maybe a tab soda for Lucy and Lisa, so they can go sit and is that your father?
Yes.
Have we told him our names?
You have not, but I know your names, so that's not a clue.
Dang it.
Arthur's gonna put his arm like heartily on Randall's shoulder and go, "That's my boy here, and if we don't get a black Lincoln here, I mean, we'll take it to Cheney's Black Lincoln or Cheney's Lincoln dealer on the other side of town." And
that's all the way east there, sir. That'd be a long drive for. I'm telling you, and he turns his attention back to Randall. Sir, I'm telling you, if you want to come back into the office, we can sit down, we can take a look at this. I can get you something ordered up, nice and pretty and perfect for you. We can get you all set up. We've got financing.
Ask about tinted windows.
Yeah. So confused right now. Yeah. Your name's Abe, right? Or Lincoln? Abe Lincoln?
No, that's the
What do
man
you
that
go
owns
by?
the place now. He's the guy in the
What's your name?
advertisements. You know, that silky voice. Sounds like you should have a podcast. Nope, I ain't the owner.
What's the
I ain't Abe.
podcast?
I am. But you know what? My name's Steve. They call me Honest Steve. He puts his hand out to shake your hand again.
I'll shake it.
So, and he kind of doesn't let go, Randall. He's like, "Come on, let's go to the office. Let's do a little bit of paperwork. We'll get you that Lincoln ordered up, and we'll get you all set."
Can I ask a question real quick?
Of course,
Please.
From this is correct. From where I'm standing, can I see if anyone else is inside the building?
So yeah, from where you're standing, it's all glass, right? You can see kind of the hyenas line of other salesmen that are just dying to talk to somebody. They're kind of giving Steve the stink eye a little bit. Inside, you can see that they've got desks set up. They've got a sports car that's like inside the showroom itself. But yeah, there's people inside and just outside.
Okay, I'm gonna touch Randall on the shoulder gently and like, oh, wouldn't it be good if you quite possibly could get any references that brought any black Lincolns recently?
Yeah. Sure. As we're go ahead.
Nope, he's a little confused. He's waiting for you to talk.
We sir, we really have our mind set on a black Lincoln.
And I've got a black Lincoln for you. That's what I'm saying.
All right, let's go look at it.
Well, no, it's not here, right? So
Well,
let's go back. We'll talk about price. I can have it here in 2 days. They can bring it in from Philadelphia in 2 days. We'll have you all set up. Did I mention
Steve, I got to
$87
stop you there. That's not going to work. We're here to pay cash. I wouldn't mind paying a finder's fee if you knew someone selling a black Lincoln, but there's no way I'm going to wait 2 days. I'll look at the paper and see if there's other places here in town that have my black Lincoln. Unless you have any leads, I would pay a finder's fee.
His energy completely changes. His arms drop. Here's my card. Turns around, lights a cigarette, and starts walking back to the dealership.
I have a quick question. I don't know if preparedness would work in this way. But using a preparedness point, would there be like a black Lincoln? Maybe Arthur keeps the newspaper. Is there a black Lincoln in the newspaper that we can point to say, like, look, this was just here. We're here to pick up this car. When was it bought? You know, try and maybe pry from there rather than just asking him. If not,
so I'll let you roll for it, but I'll tell you the difficulty be pretty high. The chances of you just happening to have that in your pocket, I don't know how great that is. If you want to take a shot at it, you can.
Before,
okay. Do you want to spend any points?
No. I mean, Nick was going to say something. I don't want to.
Yeah, what I was going to say is, if you wanted to save spending points and do all that, I have an idea. Can I ask a quick question?
Yep.
What kind of money did we earn for this thing per month? Is it something sizable, 200, 500, whatever it is? Would I have that on me? Can I say I have it on me?
You have the check. I would say probably like $175, $200 maybe.
I see the change in Steve's face, and I stop. I kind of pull him aside away from the group, and I say, "Guys, just give me 1 second." Steve, the real reason I'm here is I need to know who bought this Lincoln off your lot in the last month. There's a black Lincoln going around causing trouble, and I just need some more information. Look, here's the deal. Here, I can get you 2 crisp $100 bills. That's right, $100 bills. If you could just pass on the information.
Man, I'm going to be honest with you. We haven't sold a damn Lincoln in this place for probably 6 months. The only thing people are buying these days are those old junkers over in the used lot. I got all excited when you come up here talking about you want to get a new car. We haven't sold a Lincoln in at least a year, man. As much as I'd love to have your $200.
I appreciate your honesty, Steve. Is there any direction you can point us to where someone would possibly buy a new Lincoln in this color, in this format?
I mean, God, probably the closest dealership's a good, 2-hour drive east. If you want me to give you directions to them, but I don't know if they've got the inventory. I don't know if they're selling stuff too, man. Money's tight, man.
All right. Well, Steve, I appreciate your honesty.
You got my card, right? So, like, if you
do.
decide you're going to get a car, you got any friends that have cars? It'd be great, and surprise your pretty lady over there with a brand new car. You come talk to Honest Steve, right?
Right. We'll see you in 9 months. We're going to need a minivan.
Slaps you on the back.
Sorry, Vic. Doug,
good for you.
Sorry.
All right. So the 4 of you start heading back to the car.
Yeah, I communicate that with everybody about it's not happening. I didn't get any information out of them. We're kind of at a weird point.
Okay. And no Lincolns on the Lincoln that I saw had new plates from here. They could have been fake, or maybe someone from here. I don't know. Yeah.
So it had dealer plates, but it didn't identify itself as Honest Abe. I think what brought you here is you saw the dealer plates, and then you looked up and saw this was the only place in Allentown that sold Lincolns.
That's Lincoln. Okay.
You guys want to go check out the old Blue Gold research facility? Maybe there's still activity at the old mill that they rented or wherever they're at.
Yeah. I would love to go with the newlywed couple
Oh my god.
Let me unbuckle the car seat.
I'm gonna murder both of you in your sleep.
I got you covered, Lisa.
That means Archer's not the first to die, hopefully.
Lisa was the killer all along.
So is that where the four of us are headed? Are we going to head off to the Blue Gold campus?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
All right. So I'm putting this at right around about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now the Blue Gold campus, it's a good 10 miles outside of town, just right on the outskirts of Allentown suburbs. And they got a huge tax break to build this gorgeous campus. And as the car pulls up, it's impressive. It's a huge facility. You can see the Blue Gold logo on a sign as you go up the long drive that takes you to the facility itself. But you don't see any cars in the parking lot. And as you get closer, you don't see anybody walking around, nobody eating lunch. It's getting about lunchtime here, and there's nobody, there's picnic tables, but nobody's eating at the picnic tables. We're going to park?
Yep.
Yeah, why not?
So you guys park the car.
I say we get out and start walking the campus. I mean, if it's not chain link fenced around and secured, what's the harm in us looking in some windows?
So you do notice there is one car. It's kind of a crappy old coupe, 2-door coupe, that's parked in a handicap spot, very close to the front door.
Archer, write down that license plate.
Yeah. Well,
I'm still taking pictures.
Okay, great. So we take pictures of the car. We to write down the license plate.
Let's head to. Oh, go ahead, Shadika.
Oh, it was just a little thing that Lucy would have been thinking. Does Blue Gold have any rivals in this area? Like any competition?
Not for pharmaceutical research, no.
Okay.
No, in fact, I mean, I think if you guys remember when the the big announcement, the mayor made a huge deal about it, 5 years ago, and how they were going to make Allentown the new pharmaceutical mecca of the East, and so on and so forth. There was lots of big talk about jobs and everything, but it didn't quite seem to come about.
Okay.
yeah, I think we
Okay.
want to head. We're heading around the campus first. Oh,
Okay, you want to walk around the campus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See if we see any activity.
So you walk around the campus. There's security cameras. Don't encounter any kind of security guards. The windows are kind of a mirrored window, so there's no real way to look in. So it's a large building, large building. It goes way back far. You can see at the far back, it looks like there's more of a kind of a warehouse situation in the back. There's a couple side doors other than the main door. Lawn hasn't been kept up real nice. Looks like it hasn't been cut in about two weeks. Bushes look like they're a little overgrown.
Okay.
You guys want to divide and conquer? See if we can see something, or you guys want to just head in, see if the front door's unlocked?
we are
Let's
part of the study.
Let's start trying doors.
Yeah.
So from where you are, I figure you're about, a third of the way around the building at this point, because like I said, it's huge. You find one of the side doors, go up to it. You can see on the inside, it's one of those kind of push bars. But on your side, there's a handle. You push the handle and it's locked.
Would we be able to tell if the security cameras are in working order?
You could, sure. Does anybody have an investigative ability that could help us determine that?
Mm,
I only
That's
have
not my sheet. There we
investigative
go.
procedure, but I don't think
I
that
would
would
say
work.
I have notice.
Okay, I'd be willing to a notice with a spend. I'd be
Okay.
willing to let that out. Looking
I
at
have
Photography?
both computer use and photography.
so I would do photography for no spend. So yeah, Lisa, you look up at the cameras, and you can see that the blinking light is going, right? So that
Mhm.
tells you at least they're making it look like the cameras are on. Now, remember, this is 1991, so it's not like sophisticated moving cameras, but there are cameras all the way around.
Okay. Let's try the front door next.
Sure.
Yeah, there's at least one person here.
So you walk all the way back. You get to the front area. It's got this really regal front entrance with the blue gold logo on either side printed on the windows. The windows are still mirrored, and it's like a white brick, and there's a fountain in front of the main door. You get to the main doors, these kind of double doors, and you pull on it, and it's not locked.
All right, Lucy's gonna go inside. She's going.
So you open up the door, and Lucy, you look out, and you can see there's a reception area, and it's got this beautiful blue carpet with kind of gold inlaid patterns on the carpet itself. On the far end, you can see a large white reception desk and several doors on your left. Sitting at the reception desk, there's a woman, and she's got newspaper. And as soon as that door opens, she goes, can I help you?
Yes. Hello. Lucy's gonna friendly walk herself up to the front desk.
Are you? Can I help you?
Yes. So we're hoping you can actually help us. We're participants in one of the studies that Blue Gold is holding.
For the thomazine.
Yes.
You're not supposed to come here. That's supposed to be complete. You should have. You must be study group 3, right? So yeah, you should be. Hold on a second. Let me look it up. And she pulls out a file. And she's looking up it. A nurse Sarah is supposed to be your contact. You're not supposed to come to the office.
Well, yes, but see, Nurse Sarah quit. So now we need a new contact.
She quit. Okay. All right. Well, what can I answer for you? What do you need? If she's fired, we're gonna have to we'll hire another nurse. We'll reach out to you. I don't know what I can do for you.
Well, is there anyone here that knows what they can do for me?
I'm the only one here.
Oh. Huh.
What do you do here all alone?
She kind of looks at the newspaper, and she kind of looks to her right, and you look to her right on the desk, and there's like 3 crossword puzzle books. She goes, honestly, not a whole lot. I mean, since they kind of wound things down, and the company got bought, I figure my days are number 2. And my guess is once they wrap up your study, I think I'm probably going to lose my job too.
Why are you still here, though? Why did you not?
So
when they shut this place down,
mostly what I've been doing, and I've got it done a lot sooner than I think that they thought I would. I've been kind of packing up all the papers and all the research and everything, and getting it ready. I guess the new buyers are going to kind of take it all and head out, and so she kind of looks and she goes, none of you work for Blue Gold, right? You guys are just in the study.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, I'm riding the clock. I'm taking my checks as long as they're going to issue them.
That is understandable and fair.
Sure, yeah.
So we'll reach out to you, I'm sure. I mean, I think you guys only have like another month left in the study, right? I mean, they might even cancel the last meeting and just mail you the checks. I don't know what they're going to do. They don't tell me anything.
Okay, but what if we start having problems now?
Yeah. Side effects
who do we contact?
I mean, I don't know who you can contact. I mean, I guess I could, what? Give me your names. I should have all your information in the back, and I can I could call you later today. I don't know the answer to that. But I can call you as soon as I find out. Are you feeling okay? Are you guys having problems?
I think we're just missing our point of contact with Blue Gold. Having that person to call in case we're trying this experimental drug.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, you're what, 2 years into this, right? I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't think the damn thing does anything. I'm
Well,
surprised. I'm surprised anybody bought this damn company.
Well, ma'am, this nurse took off with all of our records that we would go through and help figure out what changes each month. And would she have left it here before she quit, or do you have duplicates here that we might be able to take to our next meeting?
Yeah.
So
we got records on.
self-assess?
We got records. I mean, that's all I've been doing is packing up the records out back. But that's confidential information. That's like information about people and stuff, and it's company property and stuff. So yeah, I mean,
what about copies just of our records?
Yeah.
Like, we should be able to have access to our own medical records, right?
And you're riding the wave already. You know it's about to come to a close. We're not going to say anything just please help us, and we won't say anything. I'm going to try to use reassurance for this.
okay, all right. Do we want to
Nice.
spend any points?
I'm gonna spend 1 point because I got a feeling this is important. Because all I have was 1 point, so
All right.
yeah.
So you spend your 1 point of reassurance. She goes, yeah, I mean, I guess you guys have ID. Let me. Do you have driver's license?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
So
sure.
she takes each of your driver's license. She jots them down on a sheet of paper, and she goes, it might take me a little while, but I've got a copy machine. I'll go in the back. I'll dig up your stuff. I'll make copies. I mean, I guess it's your stuff, right? It's about you. But can you give me like 30 minutes?
Of course.
Sure.
You mind just waiting here? And she kind of points over like the couch lounge area that's in the reception area.
No
Yeah.
problem.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'll be right back. So you see her go into one of the doors. She uses a key to unlock the door. She goes in, close it, and you can hear the click of the lock. That's the first time you notice the dee, 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 dee. There's a muzak that you
The
didn't notice.
Oh my god. They're still playing this.
Looking over kind of at her desk, she had a computer or some sort of
There is a computer.
she locked it or put it to sleep, assuming.
The monitor is off.
Okay. I'm not great with computers, but
Lucy would look at the computer and like it looks like for a second she's going to do something, and then just say, "I have no idea what I'm looking at right now."
Lisa will go look at the computer.
All right.
Y'all are useless.
Lucy, what do you have?
Is there flying toasters going across the screen?
I was born in the 30s.
All right. Yeah. So Lisa,
No, I don't expect that from you, Archer, but Lucy's 23.
you have one computer, so you have no trouble, Lisa, getting the computer to boot up. The little Windows wave icon comes up. You get Windows 3.1 boots up, and you've got the mouse there. What are we looking for?
I mean, email existed in 1991. Yeah.
It did, but it was mostly in academics, right? So in 91, it was mostly college campus based. Companies weren't really using email at that time. And there really wasn't, I mean, there was an internet, but in 91, it was mostly just starting to kind of form up in the university systems. So I don't think Blue Gold would have any type of internet connection or anything like that.
Okay. I guess I'll just take a look and see if there's any sort of records system, maybe like spreadsheets or something.
Okay. Do you want to just use computer or do you want to spend? So for those of you,
I'll spend it.
so
do it.
there's two categories of skills. So in this case, Lisa's using, or Victoria's using Lisa's one of her investigative abilities. So you saw how we used the general ability with the hiding, right? So they had to roll for that. There was a target number. The investigative abilities with the gumshoe system, which is very, very interesting, is if they've got the skill, then I will give them something. So, for example, Lisa sat down. She has computer, at least one rank in it. So, her being able to open up the computer and get in there, no problem whatsoever. I just give it to her. There's nothing to roll for that. Now, if she wants to spend some of her points that she has in there, then I would give her potentially more. So, with the investigative abilities, they're always going to get something if there's something to be gotten, and if they spend points, they potentially could get more. So, you want to spend your 1 in computer use?
Yeah.
All right. So you go through that and you find a couple things. One, you find a bill, essentially like a deed bill of sale. You can see that a company has bought the facility and Blue Gold, and it happened about 4 years ago. The name of the company is called The Practice, based off of what you see on the sheet. No details about the sale or anything. It's just that it includes the facilities. It includes all of the research. And then you find another document that's a letter from this practice. And it says, on this date, which is about a week from now, you should have, we're going to come by. We expect to have all of the research bundled and packaged up and ready for transfer.
Okay. Guess I've got something to look into.
Okay, she's been gone about 10, 15 minutes. So if she is right and it takes her 30 minutes, you guys got another 5-10 minutes to go. Anything we want to do?
Filing cabinets, anything to rummage through?
Yeah. So you go through the filing cabinets. There's a lot of facility stuff. So, you can see that they have not been paying the landscapers. There's a bunch of, cancellation from the landscaping service. You can see that has happened. You can see essentially the decline. So there was a huge layoff apparently about 3.5 years ago. And since then, it's been people either being fired or quitting. And best as you can tell, as you go through all this paperwork and kind of piece things together in the 10-15 minutes that we're talking about, it's very possible that this woman is the last employee on site. And you do discover her name is Helen Dearborn.
Or anything referring to any kind of groups or numbering system that we're familiar with?
No, there doesn't appear to be any type of research data in there. Doesn't appear to be any type of, personal information about studies or anything like that, which probably wouldn't be something that a company would store up at the front desk, right? It's more likely back where Helen is.
Is there any loose keys in the little top
I was
drawer?
just going to ask.
Yeah.
Any other spare keys?
Yeah. You find a set of keys. In fact, you find two set of keys. You find one set of keys that's got a Toyota key, car key that matches the little Toyota coupe that you saw out in the front. And then you find another set of keys that none of them are car keys.
Fuck it. I'll do it. I'll put the non-Toyota car keys in my pocket.
Okay.
And close that just how I found it.
Perfect. Okay, we're about 5 minutes away from 30 minutes past. Okay, turn down the computer.
Sit back.
I was born in the 80s. You unplug that thing so it's for sure off by the time she gets back. Yeah.
Archer.
You get that power strip.
The camera that faces the lobby, assuming that there's a camera in here, facing right onto the receptionist's desk.
There's actually 2 cameras. There's one facing the reception desk and one facing the front door.
Okay, that's a little discomforting. Okay, he's been just like a witness in most of this, like looking on. So he's gonna go ahead and sit back down in the lobby area.
Yeah, I'm gonna go sit back down.
Lisa and Randall are rejoining.
Once I get the computer off, yes.
Okay, computer's off. You head back. Randall?
Would it be possible to maybe go against Filch to see if I can angle myself in a way that I can put those keys in my pocket without cameras being on me?
Yeah, you don't need to roll. That's easy.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I go sit down like nothing ever happened.
And just as your butt hits the seat, you hear the click, click. Door opens.
Stand back up.
Woman comes out. She's got 4 folders, manila folders. It's got lots of papers in it. She goes, I think this is all of it. I made copies of everything. And like I said, I mean, I've got all your contact information. I can just call you when we have your new contact, or I can let you know if that the study's over, if they just cancel for the last month, and I'm sure they'll send you the last check. But even if they don't, that's not on me. You understand that, right? I have nothing to do.
Right.
Okay. But yeah, here, Zukov, that's you. And she hands the folders out.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Not much help, and
Nah,
good luck.
thanks.
Yeah, you
And
you
good
as
luck to
well.
you too.
You guys leave?
Yeah.
I say
Okay.
reconvene outside.
So you guys head back to our favorite station wagon. You want to turn on the radio and listen to any ads? Or are you guys good?
Yeah, we're good.
Unless you're queuing us up for something.
What?
crazy.
Probably going to be another honest Abe Lincoln's Lincoln ad.
I really want to hear that ad again.
He buys all the ad space.
All right. So you guys are back in the station wagon, looking through the papers.
Okay. Lucy's going to say before she starts reading hers, we got to come back here tonight and never do another breaking and entering when it's 10 a.m.
Hey, I didn't want us to go in the first place.
Well, Lisa, we're fine. We wasn't seen by cops.
We
That
hid
was a
expertly
cop?
in the bushes,
I thought that was Austin.
like pro stealth.
Yeah, Arthur's going to. What did the records kind of
So yeah,
detail?
each of you go through your records. You see your original applications. You can see in the upper right hand corner, if you remember, you kind of remembered filling some of these out. In the upper right hand corner for you, Arthur, it says I think it was like 310. Lucy's is like 38. Randall's is 312. Lucy, so each of you have a 3/ and a different number in the upper right hand corner. There's what you filled out. There's your blood pressure each of the months that you were checked. Each one of those times that you filled out those questionnaires that got filed in your files as well. But looking through it, there's nothing beyond that. So everything you're looking at, you have seen. And outside of kind of a stamp here or a signature there, that's all that's really added. So I wouldn't say there's any new information, but now it is all collected in front of you. The only other thing I'll say is for Lucy and Randall, if you remember, Nurse Sarah said you had kind of a higher blood pressure than normal. And just for ships and giggles, you look and she's right. Her memory was good. You guys, all 4 of you have always had good blood pressure, good pulse. Except for that last visit, Lucy and Randall, for the meeting, which would have been yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
What are your guys' thoughts on going back in and trying to figure out a way of getting 1/3's information, or get a name or some sort of clue?
I think that's probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
I'm full of those. So.
I feel like since Lucy wants to come back tonight, that might be the time to look for 1-3.
Randall looks defeated. I just want you to know that.
Yeah.
Do you want to get in a
it
pawn
makes
shop?
sense.
Do you want to get arrested?
I spent all my points, so maybe I should wait. Well,
Lisa.
is now a good time for downtime in preparation for tonight?
Yeah.
Is it
So-
downtime, Craig? What's
It's not really downtime,
Sorry.
but yeah.
That's the
So
way
is that the
you-
plan? Is that the plan, that we're going to kind of hang out, do our thing, and then where's the meetup and when's it happening?
Lucy would say we
Okay.
should meet up at the bar because I get off at 7 tonight.
Sounds good.
All
Sure.
right.
Take the station wagon.
Lisa's
So-
gonna. Why my car?
Wait,
We-
we can do my car. It's a I wrote
Yeah,
this
what's your car?
down. It's a two-door 1983 Honda Civic.
All right. So here's what we're
Nice.
gonna do. We're gonna the camera slowly fades as we see them drive off. We see a montage of. Are you guys going back home? Everybody's gonna go back home and then just meet at the bar with Lucy.
Yeah, I want to go home and develop my pictures.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I'm gonna go home, change, and run to work.
Got it. Archer.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean he'll go home, but he'll probably end up at Lucy's bar shortly after because I don't think that Arthur really has a lot of friends or things to
Okay.
do.
No.
All right. And Randall, what is your plan before
pigeon.
7:00?
Yeah, Randall's going to go down to the VA and serve chow for his fellow vets and other people in need. Kind of recoup his thoughts and kind of zone out for a little bit.
All right, so let's do this. For all four of you, you guys can restore 1 point spent in any of your investigative skills and your general skills, but not your stability.
One each or just one?
One per. So if you spent 3 points on 3 different things, each of those would go up 1.
Okay.
You spent 2 points on something, it only goes up 1. So guys, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick 10-minute break. We're going to give the cast a chance to flex and start thinking about what's going to go on. When we come back, we're going to be at Lucy's bar as she's about to come off work. We'll see everybody in 10 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. So, camera fades in, and we are back inside of Lucy's Little Dive Bar in downtown Allentown, Pennsylvania. Archer's been there nursing a drink for about an hour and a half, 2 hours now. He got there nice and early. Randall got there right before 7 o'clock, knowing Lucy's going to get off. Lucy shuts the door, locks it. And actually, no, it's a bar. So yeah, the next bartender comes in for a shift change. No sign of Lisa. It's like 7:10, 7:15, 20 after 7. Lisa bursts in to the bar.
Fashionably late as always, my
It
friend.
doesn't surprise any of us. It's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, you were expecting this. Come on.
Yeah, Arthur kind of raises like maybe another drink, and he goes, "I appreciate your timely arrival."
Yeah.
So
I
big,
assume that we know what she drinks normally, and it's there on the bar waiting for her.
perfect. And it's dusk. Lucy, you have no trouble. Your replacement. Who replaces you? Who works the night shift?
I want to say that would be a male named John.
John. So John takes over. He puts on the bar apron. You go around and you now sit at the bar. The one thing I will tell you is, Arthur, I think you've been going through the newspaper, and two things that you did notice in the newspaper. One, there is an obituary for Austin, and there's going to be a funeral and a viewing tomorrow morning around 10 o'clock. It also appears that the arraignment for our friend for the murder of Austin is going to be the day after tomorrow.
Just common knowledge, or would he know? Is that quick turnover time, or
Yeah,
'cause-
that's fast.
okay.
Yeah, for
Okay.
this, for their it'd be arraigned. But if you remember, they did find his fingerprints, right?
Right,
So she did mention that they found his fingerprints on the display case.
Okay. Yeah, I'll communicate that to the group and just mention how strange it is. He's looking at the paper and he's kind of scratching his head. He goes, "Do you Americans always push people into jail this quick?"
No, this is
No.
unusual.
And I don't, because it was a museum, so maybe he visited, but we'll never.
Is there
Unless
anything
we
in the
bust him out of jail.
obituary?
Go ahead,
anything in
Randall.
the obituary that states family or who it was written by?
It does
Oh, it
not.
wasn't one of us.
No, it does not indicate it, but there's some personal information in there, so it would appear that it wasn't created from whole cloth. So it talks about his career as an insurance salesman, a respected member of the community, a man who loved animals and loved people to visit his museum. Neighbors spoke highly of him, things like that. It's a very pleasant obituary. I will tell you that the funeral home that it's going to be in is not a large funeral home. So you would expect it to be a small service.
Okay. I'm assuming we're going tomorrow, guys.
Obviously.
Is that after you get out of jail or before you get?
During, actually.
Okay, good.
'Cause at least one of us will make it.
Actually, Terrence is the one in jail, correct? You
Yeah,
confused
yeah.
there. It's okay though.
All right. So
Okay,
what's
quick?
go?
Sorry.
Please go ahead, Lisa.
A quick question. So when I develop my photographs, I'm specifically looking to see like where the 1-3 was placed inside the display case. Like how far from the base is it?
So as best as you can piece together, he would have, if he was impaled, right? So if you remember, we had the skeleton of the bear. It was an upright bear with his claws out, and it either looked like he had been impaled by that, or the bear theoretically could have gone up and done it, right? Though both arms were in the same place, right? So it doesn't appear like Randall looks at it, and Arthur, both familiar with the bear, it doesn't look like it's moved at all, right? But you, as best as you could tell, Austin could have written that 1-3 while impaled.
He could have.
He could have. Doesn't mean he
Okay.
did, but he could have.
Cool.
All right. So what crime are we committing?
All right, breaking and entering.
Again.
Oh, I should mention. Lucy has like a small backpack on. And
Okay.
It has like a flashlight in it, maybe a lockpick or not.
Little piece in there.
That's smart.
Yeah, just a small piece. And that's all I can think of at the top of my head right now.
Yeah,
So prepared.
Okay.
Arthur has like his messenger bag with he has the pigeon and the his notebook and the guest book in there just in case that comes up.
Lisa, you've got your camera. Is there anything else Lisa want to make sure she brings?
Flashlight.
Okay.
A knife.
Okay. How about Randall?
Randall's wearing his military canvas red, green, dark green jacket, black cargo pants, and the jacket has like a hood type thing. He's got a crowbar that can kind of safely sit next to his leg in like a super long pocket in his pants, and that's it.
So I am okay with Randall owning a firearm. Something that we talked about during character creation, but it would make sense to me. So if Randall wants to own a firearm, I'm not saying bring it, but if at any point you say, Craig, I want to have a firearm, just let me know.
I want to have a firearm.
Sorry, you can't have a firearm. What do you want? Do you have a shotgun, pistol, rifle? What kind of firearm do you think?
It would be
Randall
like a 1911 pistol, military issue.
Okay. And are we bringing it?
Yes.
Okay.
At least to the car.
Okay. So let's fade to Lisa driving the station wagon, pulling up to Blue Gold. And as you pull in to get to the drive, and the drive is a good 300 yards before you get to the main campus, right? It's really set back. This is all farmland that was bought up by Blue Gold and converted over to this huge pharmaceutical campus. Smartly, Lisa turns off the headlights, and you guys park far, far away from the front door, kind of off to the side where there's no lights, and you guys are sitting in the car. What do we think? About 9 o'clock? Or do you want it to be later? When do you want to be there?
Ooh.
9 sounds good to me. Like
Okay.
it should be dark, but it's not going to be like,
Black. Like,
yeah.
Right. Assuming there's not a freeway next to us with constant traffic.
No, this is kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll say it's about 9-ish. What's the plan?
Me in the back seat, I unbuckle and kind of get up between everybody and kind of say, guys, what do you want to do? Do you want to go and try these keys on the back door? Clearly, it took her a while to get back, do some scanning of some kind. There's a warehouse back there, and they're supposed to pick up the documents. That might be the right place to check. See if we can see if these keys work.
okay. Yeah, let's try the side door. And are you guys also curious about the room with the records in it? Like, because there has to be more than just our questionnaires in there.
I'm almost thinking that the records are already boxed up at the shipping and receiving dock
That would
because
make
that company is supposed to pick them up. At least that's what I pieced together. If I might be wrong, but
Okay.
This is also where they seemingly produce the drug, Craig, to our knowledge.
Yeah.
or-
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's manufacturing that happens here. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, whether this drug has been produced here, it wouldn't be shocking if nothing's been produced here in the last 3-4 years.
Okay.
Because what Helen told you is that, the big layoffs happened, 3.5 years ago.
Right.
Okay. Lucy would say if we visit any of the offices, there might be nothing there because she's been apparently doing a very fast job. So in the records room, but we should also probably look around the facility because at least I've never been here.
Where are we headed?
I mean, we looking at side door here? I don't know if it matters side door or front door at this point. They're gonna have cameras, right?
Alarm systems. Side door. Be safe.
Let's go try some keys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so where are we
Go.
headed first?
What about that door
I
we
vote
tried
side door.
last time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Okay,
side
so
door.
you guys walk around about a third of the way around. This door seems to be about halfway between what looks like kind of the office area and then getting into more the manufacturing and shipping and receiving areas there. That's where this door was that you had tried before and didn't work. So Randall pulls out his keys. One of the keys work.
Flashlight in hand. Oh, my gun is back in the car. I'm not bringing it in.
Okay.
I don't sense any trouble at the moment. I don't need to escalate things. So, but the crowbar is with me in that side pocket.
Got it.
You guys want me to go in first?
Oh, you.
Lead the way. All right.
Go
So
for it.
flashlight up. Open up.
Randall, you got your flashlight. You kind of walk in and it's hallways, right? Hallways, and you kind of check the first door, empty office, second door, empty office. You kind of go through and you get to kind of the main hallway, and based on where you are and kind of the layout of the building, and you've already been in part of the building, you figure if you take a left and go down to the end of that hallway, it'll take you right to that reception area. So this appears to be the hallway that Helen went through. So it looks like that's the door that she went through on the, far down on the left hallway. Far down to the right hallway, you can see doors lining both sides. Then there's a door and it says conveniently records room.
I like it. Before we proceed, once everybody gets into the main little area past the door, I'm going to quiet kind of shush everybody. And if I can do like a sense trouble check to see if I hear anything, because it should be no noise whatsoever, maybe a humming or something, but I want to see if I want to listen to see if there's anything out of the ordinary.
Yep, you can definitely do a sense trouble. Do you want to spend any points?
Yeah, I'll spend 2.
All right, so you've got a 4 that brings you down to 2 on sense trouble. So it's going to give you a +2 to your roll. Let's give it a roll. You kind of stop for a second. You hush everybody. Your spidey sense doesn't go off. It is as quiet as you expected it to be. The only thing you really hear is maybe some of the piping, noises like that, but nothing that gives you the heebies, nothing that makes you think, ooh, something might be going on. So you were successful in that role and you don't get any sense trouble.
Gotcha. Would I notice any kind of like red lights coming from the camera system or any other what might be security systems?
So I'm going to assume that you guys are going to navigate to avoid the cameras. So the cameras, this is not a high security situation, right? So it's very easy for you to kind of duck here, go under the camera there. I'm just going to go ahead and assume that that's what you guys are doing, is that you guys are avoiding the cameras as you go. So we don't need to worry about that.
All right. I communicate everything to the group and say, let's, we see the medical record sign down there. Let's make our way down.
All right.
So Randall in front, he's got his flashlight. You get up to the records room, locked. Randall pulls out his key ring, tries the first key, second key, third key, fifth key, finally works. Click, open it up. Not a huge room, maybe 20 foot by 30 foot room with shelving in rows, about 5 rows worth of shelving. And there's boxes, like, those cardboard file boxes. There's just tons of those lining there. All of them have been sealed, so you can see just tape wrapped around each one of them. At the bottom of each of the box, there's a label that's on the shelf. So the shelf tells you, what in the box, and give me a sense of what we're looking for, and we can head there.
1/3.
Yep. Looking for group 1.
Yeah. Maybe participant
Bless you.
Sorry.
glasses. Maybe participant study groups.
So Lisa, you don't have any trouble finding kind of where those boxes are, and you see group 3, and you see the boxes. There's like, A to L, T to M. They're kind of breaking it down, each of the boxes there, and the boxes are there, and they are sealed. You do notice that the Z box, the J box, the H box, and the W box have been opened and resealed. So they look different than the other boxes in that group 3. You find a group 2 as you kind of go down there, and you can see they've all been continually sealed. It looks to be fewer boxes than the group 3 boxes, and then you get to empty shelves,
Hmm.
and you see group 1 labeled with the same lettering. There's looks like only 2 boxes, but the boxes aren't there.
Hmm.
Huh.
That's interesting. Click.
Yeah, that's
This is exactly what we were looking for.
Well, kind of.
Well, and keep in mind that everything I just told you costs no investigative skills. That's just what you see. So any Joe Blow would have been able to walk in there, and any Mary Jane could see what I just told you. So keeping in mind with Gumshoe, this is a good time for all 4 of you to kind of look at your investigative skills and figure out if there's a skill there you think you can use if you want to see if there's more to be found, that somebody with a certain level of skill maybe would see that a normal person wouldn't.
You said investigative procedures, more like cop based.
Yeah, that's forensics,
Yeah.
crime scene type stuff.
Okay.
How about notice?
We could definitely use notice if somebody wants to flex some notice. Where and how do we want to use notice?
Can I use it to see, like, maybe if the boxes were moved recently?
Yeah, we could definitely use notice for that. So do you want to spend any points?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
We'll do the 1 on my notice and take it down to.
Got you. So that takes you down to 0 notice. You spend the points. So a few things. Lisa kind of looks, and there's dust that's on the shelves themselves, right? And the dust is uniform, as would be expected. Less dust where these boxes, so you can see where these 2 boxes used to be, right? So if you were to ballpark it, maybe as much as a year ago, these boxes were taken. So that's what you get for just using notice, right? So if you'd spent no points, I'm going to give you your point spend, though. It's a sheet of paper under the shelving by your feet. You see the corner of a little piece of paper.
Ooh. I will grab that.
Oh, see, I totally anticipated you just to kick it back under. You want to grab it?
Yes, please.
So
And shove it directly into my mouth. No.
That's really funny. Everybody's like, no. So you pull the paper out, and it is a approved job application for group manager. It is just over 4 years old. And the person on it is a Dr. Michael Jones. Dr. Michael Jones has, based off of kind of his resume, his CV that you're looking at in the application, has you'd guess based on when he graduated from college that maybe he's late 30s, based off of what his when he graduated from college. He didn't graduate from a great college, but he's got a medical degree, and it's a medical degree in pharmacology. And he's got an address, which is Allentown, Pennsylvania. And just kind of reframe things. Your group, this application is about 5.5 years old.
Okay.
The name's not familiar to our group, is it? Didn't think so.
None of you know a Dr. Michael Jones.
Lucy, this guy related to you?
Oh, that bitch is my brother.
Unfortunately, no. You think if we contact him, I can be like, I'm your long lost daughter.
That may give us
12.
the opposite. Cousin, half sister.
All right,
Yeah.
so you guys are in this records room. Is there anything else we want to do? Is there any other skills we want to flex? Any other places we want to look? Any other information that you want to
Go looking at just like the people in our. If Arthur were to go into the records of the people in our study,
Mhm.
I don't know if it would be if it's something in like science or something of that nature where he would be able to kind of analytically see whether or not people are experiencing side effects or any sort of weird.
Honestly, man, I think you'll just, I mean, it's just a matter of reading the sheets, right? So we can definitely use science if you want to take something a little less obvious, like someone says, I've blood pressure changes and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and use science. Do you want to spend any points on science?
Yeah, I'll use 1 point to try and gauge any sort of weird anomalies that he might be able to find.
So let's go to your science. It looks like you have 2 in science.
Yep.
Drop it by 1.
Yes, sir.
So looking at all of the applications, all of the names are familiar to you. So you know all of the people that are listed here. So there's no participants that you were unaware of as you go through it. Your records are still in there. So in fact, when she told you that she photocopied them, it looks like that she did. Arthur, you spend 15, 20 minutes kind of going through it as everybody else is kind of walking around and looking. A couple things that you seem to glean is everybody on their application did not list any like conditions, history of mental illness, anything along those lines. So nothing stands out there. Nothing really stands out as far as blood pressure, pulse. Everything looks within parameters. There's times where people were a little higher here, a little lower there, but nothing that you as a scientist would deem as being outside of safe parameters. Flipping through and looking at people's month over month evaluations, there's reports of headaches. So there are some people that have reported, slight migraines, nothing extreme by any stretch of the imagination. One lady, let me just quickly bring up who that is. Give me just a second. So Jennifer Parker, and I don't know if you remember Jennifer Parker. She's the one I described in the first episode when you came in. She was the very thin woman that almost looked like an addict, for lack of a better. She notes having periods of blacking out. That there was times that she would pass out and she would faint. It looked like maybe it was 2 visits ago, so it'd be 3 months ago. She listed it on there. You don't see it listed on anybody else's sheet. You don't see it listed before or after.
Does it have her address or anything?
It has everybody's address, so
Okay.
everybody's listed on here.
Yeah, he's just gonna note down her address and kind of that note in his notebook.
Okay, Lucy, Lisa, Randall, what
Oh,
are we doing?
I wanted to see if I can find any extra like resealing tape while I'm in this room.
Yep, no trouble finding that, Lucy. In fact, as you go over and you kind of are looking through and going, you do find a box that's marked with the drug's name.
Oh, ooh, ooh. Okay, I'm gonna take that and open it.
So you pull that box off and it's sealed, and you unseal it and you open it up and you can see the packaging that you've been getting every month.
Mhm.
So they're just all lined in there. There's got to be at least 50, 60 boxes worth, right? And each of you would get a box that would last you a month on each of the visits. And as you're kind of looking through it, your vision blurs a little bit.
Okay.
And you set the box down on the ground, and not in a light way. It's enough that it drops that everybody could hear it kind of thump out of your hands, and you feel yourself black out. The three of you hear a thump as something hits the ground.
Randall turns, trying to be aware of his surroundings, realizes what's going on, and goes and tries to help identifying it.
You turn the corner to the row that Lucy was on. She was by herself on this row of boxes. You turn the corner and you see Lucy grabbing this drug and stuffing it in her purse, into her pockets, and she doesn't even acknowledge that you're there. And she's just taking this drug and she's stuffing it in every place that she potentially could carry it on her person. So jacket, into her pockets, into her purse.
Could I try and use reassurance to get her out of this kind of panic attack?
So
or
you turn the corner as well, Arthur. You see this happening.
yeah, I'm gonna like kind of immediate. I see Randall bolt to her and approach her from the other side, and not prevent her from putting anything in her pockets, but kind of try and snap her out of it. I
What
don't
are
know
we
if you
saying?
can- It's just Lucy.
So you're the one that breaks the silence, right? So we heard the drop of the box. Randall turns the corner, sees this. You turn the corner, you see this. You say, Lucy, Lucy. She turns to you and she says, get away from me. She's stuffing it. She continues to stuff into her pockets.
Yeah, I'm looking at Randall at this point, and I'm this is not I'm not recognizing Lucy. Is it her? It's her voice.
It is definitely her voice, but the facial expressions are off. I don't think you've ever seen Lucy angry. Lucy is she's a pretty easygoing person and a friendly person, a very interpersonal, like, everybody loves Lucy, right? Oh, they should make that into a show. This is an expression you've never seen on her face. It was very aggressive and very threatening. So when she says to you, get away from me, like it was a threatening expression.
Arthur avoids conflict. And he definitely kind of is staggered, and he's backpedaling a little bit and just is not comfortable inching towards Lisa at this point.
Randall, what are you doing?
Recognizing what's going on and seeing this happen, what would Randall do?
Lisa, you've made it here as well.
I'm going to try to calm her down and see how she reacts with me saying, "What's going on? What's going on?
Don't touch me.
What are you doing? You're way too loud. What is going on?"
So she immediately turns away. As soon as she realizes you're not approaching her and not coming towards her space, she just goes back to what she's doing, she has run out of places now. So now she's kind of putting it into her arms. So it's figuring out like trying to see how much she could carry.
I look at Archer and say, "Give me your your satchel or duffel bag or whatever you got around your shoulder.
Oh, he,
Try to give it to her and see what she does.
yeah. I mean, if he's he'll toss it over.
So anytime you approach her or get near her in any way, physically get within her vicinity, Lucy immediately just lashes out verbally. Doesn't physically do anything. She's very focused on trying to gather as much of these drug boxes into her possession. Lisa, what's your reaction?
I'm gonna pull out my own flashlight and just like kind of shine it into her face a little bit and be like, "Hey, Lucy, we're getting more next month. You don't have to whatever it is you're doing here."
So she doesn't react to the flashlight, and unless you get within kind of, it looks like it's about a 3-foot bubble that she's kind of decided is around her, right? That if somebody gets into that little perimeter, that's when Lucy lashes out. She's now standing up and her hands are full. She's dropped her flashlight. She's standing there with the drugs are full, and you kind of see her sway, and her arms fall and the drugs fall all over. And Randall, you're within room if you want to grab her. She's falling.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta
Lucy,
grab her.
for you, it was a blink. So in 1 second, you're pulling this box down. The next second, you see just the little drug boxes everywhere, and Randall's kind of like holding you.
Oh. Oh gosh, I'll pass out again? Well, yeah, you caught me.
Lucy, sit down. And I kind of set her gently
Okay.
down. And do you realize what you just did?
Pass out. Yeah.
Oh, it was way worse than that.
Wait, what?
You were hostile and grabbing. You see all these boxes of medication and drugs? You were shoving these in every pocket.
She kind of turns to the what has fell on the floor. Wow, words are hard today.
What fell on the floor? Yeah.
Yeah. And she turns and she just hears the clinking of all the medicine and check her pockets and like, I only passed out for a few seconds.
Like literally a blink, Lucy. So from your perspective, Shadika, it was flash. For everybody else, that episode probably lasted at least 90 seconds, 2 minutes.
Okay. Then what she would have said is it was like kind of falling asleep and waking right back up. I just pulled the box out and I was in Randall's arms.
Craig, would it?
I think I hit a key. All right, am I back? Are we back?
Yeah, he knows.
All right, I think we're back. I don't know how that happened. Sorry. Not sure where we were, but yeah, you checked for your medicine. This does not appear to be withdrawals. This does not appear like like the heroin addicts that you saw in Vietnam. So let's talk about the point spent. Whatever just happened, on your medical knowledge, doesn't appear to be physical. So it doesn't appear to be a reaction, a side effect, a withdrawal. That's not what this was, at least within your understanding. Great use of medical, by the way.
Knowing this, I'm gonna kind of gently pick her up, have one arm over my shoulder, and kind of say, "Lucy, I'm gonna take you to the car," knowing that I need to get her out of this situation, out of the environment that we're in. And I kind of nod to the rest of the group and say, "You guys can join me or continue, but I need to get Lucy out of here." I'll be at the car. If you guys happen to see a VHS recorder for the cameras, pull the tape, please. And I'm going to start exiting. I'll leave the keys with Lisa.
Okay.
Lucy, are you going with him?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with him as I'm clicking, clacking, and walking beside him. Well, Lucy would just kind of make a joke. Well, I was planning to take the box anyway, just so we have it and they don't. But
do you want
okay.
to? You do have probably at least 20 boxes that are in various pockets and purses. Do you want to keep that as Randall takes you?
I'm going to insist no, if that's okay. I'm going to kind of be the Papa Bear and be like, no, you've got to leave this stuff here. I'm going to start as if it's my job to take these medicines out of her.
Big brother Randall.
Yeah.
And Lucy would just be, but what if we need it for something? Someone should at least have a box. And she's going to start like taking it out. Like, okay, you're right. I did like apparently act like a beast for these. So, she's going to start.
I'll wink at Arthur and say, go ahead and put a few of those in your satchel. And just insist that she gets the hell out of that room.
Okay. She's gone.
All right, so they head off. Lisa and Arthur.
Oh man, I kind of want to take a look at the box just to see if the same thing happens to me, because I'm gonna be dumb for now.
Yeah, so you go to the box, Lisa, and kind of like, right? And I'm imagining also, a little bit of kind of like putting stuff back in the box, and maybe you don't even realize why you're doing it, other than there's a mess and I'm kind of cleaning it up, and like a little bit of OCD maybe. But yeah, it doesn't affect you at all. You don't feel drawn to these boxes. You don't feel the need to stuff them in every pocket that you've ever brought into this building. So
Okay.
yeah, Arthur, what are you doing?
Well, he's wrapping up his notes on Lucy's kind of attack there, and thinking to himself, looking at the room and saying, they're going to know, or the receptionist is going to know someone was here. He's recognizing that, and he's quickly wanting to leave this situation and kind of reassess it with the group. So he's going to head back to the car. I don't know about Lisa.
Are you leaving Lisa there? What's Lisa doing?
I'm not leaving her there, but he's going to definitely
strongly suggest you leave.
Yes.
The resealing tape that Lucy found. Did she indicate about it to us at all, or is it
She
just
dropped
like
it? So
on the
it's
floor?
there. Yeah, you
Okay.
find that as you're kind of piecing through and picking up her mess.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and clean that up and then reseal the boxes that we opened.
Yep, done.
Archer wants to leave.
Don't want to leave. I just want to check on Lucy more so.
Okay. I would like to do a quick sweep to see if I can find a camera room.
Sure. So you spend enough time. There's nothing needed for that. So you guys find the security, right? So it's about 3 doors up. You walked past it, and you kind of look in the windows, and this one isn't labeled, but you opening up some doors, seeing emptied offices. You can see where sometimes there's furniture left, sometimes furniture has been gone for a while. You find the security door. You open it up, and your technology familiarity with computers and stuff like that, Lisa, you realize it was the security room. So the cables that are down, hanging all over the place, the power strips that are at the bottom, it's obvious that were several TVs that used to be here. And you see several cables drawn down from the ceiling that used to be plugged into stuff.
Okay.
But they're not anymore.
Okay.
So there's no equipment at all in this room.
So what I'm hearing is that the cameras aren't plugged into any recording device.
That is
that I know of.
Yeah, that is exactly how it appears.
Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and go back to the car and talk to Randall and figure out what we want to do. If we want to go ahead and leave or if we want to try to find anything else.
So let's cut back to you guys walking all the way across the parking lot, staying, being somewhat stealthy, but you're not a bunch of ninjas running around, right? You're just being somewhat reasonable there. You guys get back to the car. Lucy and Randall are there. Lucy's in the back seat. Randall's there. Imagining Randall, you're checking her pulse on a regular basis, checking her temperature on a somewhat regular basis. Lucy, I mean, Randall asks you, how you feeling? How is this? How is that? He puts the flashlight to your eye. Medically, Randall, nothing seems off. And Lucy, you feel fine. The headache that you've had all day is there. Randall, you've had the same headache, but it's back of the head, right? It's super mild. And unless you say to yourself, do I still have a headache? Then you go, oh yeah, I do. But if you're in any way distracted, it doesn't even register. So it's not impacting you.
Okay. All right.
That's true for you as well, Lisa, by the way.
Okay.
And we can see Arthur really wants to have a headache.
Hey, I might not have a headache, but at least I'm not blacking out, right?
That is a plus.
At least I'm the only one blacking out to this extent currently.
That we know of.
So you get there. You're at the car.
Arthur's going to approach Randall and Lucy, and he's going to check on Lucy first, make sure that everything is okay. Assuming that everything is fine.
How do you feel about all this attention, Lucy?
It's the wrong kind of attention. It's like, I feel fine.
It was a second.
But taking a second, Lucy, this is now the third or fourth blackout you've had.
Yeah.
Your friends have regaled to you what has been happening and that time passes differently from this. I'd be really curious, kind of not anything that the other three would know, but what's going on in your head? I mean, how are you processing this?
To herself, she's quite horrified about what's happening. But she's super easygoing. She doesn't like to let people know that she is worried to a large extent. So she's terrified because it's only getting worse. Because first it was just a few seconds, and now it's been a few. She assumes minutes. Will she lose hours? Will she lose days? Like, do I have to keep taking this drug? She just kind of wants answers.
Yeah.
And she's trying not to let it like.
But showing weakness is not something that Lucy wants to
Yeah.
do. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
So at this point, kind of this is not what happened just now. Breaking into a facility is not something that the four of you do. At least not in the last 5-10 years of your life, right? I don't know what you did as teenagers. So the adrenaline of everything starts to dissipate. And you first start taking full breaths. I'm going to start with Arthur. I need a sanity test.
Okay. I will burn.
Or stability, not sanity.
Stability. Yep. What was that? I was at 7, I believe.
I've got you at 9.
9. Okay. Yes, because we had more afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll burn 2, so I'll go down to 7.
Okay. So +2 to your roll. Your target number is 4. I'll tell you your target number. All right. So you're good. So you stay right at 7. Lisa, your target number is the same at 4. Do you want to burn any stability, or do you want to run with it?
I'll burn 2.
Okay. So it brings you down to 4. Or no, I'm sorry, it brings you down to 6.
Yep. With my luck, it's not going to do anything, but let's go. Hey.
Boy, you did a good job. You burned exactly what you needed to burn to pass it. So good for you. Randall, same target number 4.
I know how I roll. I should almost burn 4, but
That was how I felt. I was like, I don't think I've hit a roll this game.
I got a second character ready. You care? No, I was gonna burn 2.
Okay, so that brings you down to 6. Look at you. You're so stable.
I should get sanity back for that.
Lucy, your target's a little bit higher. It's 5.
Ah, crap. That is a low probability there. I'm going to burn 2.
Ooh, you're going to take her down to 4?
Don't do that, Craig.
Oh, no. Question: what happens when you hit 0 stability?
Yeah.
You know, that is a great question, and probably should be something we should talk about. So at 0, nothing happens.
Okay.
When you get into the negatives. So if Lucy or anybody else were to get to -1 to -5, then you are shaken, you panic, you close off, you're exposed. Like there's a permanent ramification from that. If you fall below that, more drastic. So from -6 to -11, it's even more drastic ramifications, potentially taking you out of the game for a little while. At -12, it's time for the cuckoo's nest. So Arthur could, if someone were to get to -1, -5, Arthur could stop the panic, stop the reaction to it. If we were at -6 to -11, whoever was there would need several days or professional help for several days to get out of that condition. At -12, we're going to roll up a new character.
Okay.
Okay. Then yeah, I'll do 2.
All right. So that takes you down to 4, Lucy.
Yeah, what's the worst that can happen besides?
All right. So +2, you need to hit a 5.
Oh, there you go.
It
Perfect. All right, so that's Lucy at 4 stability. That's Randall at 6, Lisa at 6, and Arthur at 7 stability. So like I said, the adrenaline is kind of left. The dust is settled. Lucy would prefer if you didn't dote over her.
Well, too damn bad.
What's next? I think that whole episode maybe took 90 minutes. So we're looking like 10:30-ish.
Craig, am I wrong in thinking that there's a loading dock in the back? Didn't you say there's like a warehouse or something on the
There
back
is.
side? Okay.
Yeah, but I think
Wanna
if
go
you
see if we can find another crazy box.
I do.
Cool.
Lucy's like, yeah, let's go. I'm gonna
yeah.
just. No, not. Okay.
Oh, you're staying in the car. You're grounded.
someone needs to watch the car, Lucy.
We'll crack the window or something.
It's okay. I'll turn on the radio. You can listen to that sweet.
Gosh, no.
Yeah. Arthur's definitely interested.
So Randall makes it clear he wants to go back and check out the shipping, the freight area. We're talking Lucy into staying in the car. Lucy, you don't have to.
I want to go.
Oh,
like,
I was kidding.
Yeah,
she
yeah,
looks
I
so
think our
sad.
goal
She's
was
like,
to
"Oh."
Yeah.
get her some fresh air and get her out of that environment to give her kind of a reset switch and
Right.
assess the situation. And I think we all feel safe to try to progress and or at least know the urgency to go back in.
And
Great.
she's like, "Don't worry, I'm fine. It won't happen the fourth time."
Arthur has handcuffs anyway. If I get out of hand,
the four of you,
Once is chance, twice is coincidence, three times is conspiracy.
the four of you work your way back, staying out of the light, staying out of sight. You get back to the shipping facility. Randall, you get to the first kind of dock, right? So you know how that works, right? They've got the loading dock area that kind of comes up to about, shoulder level on an average person, and so that the trucks, a 18-wheeler truck and bed, can go up there and be even with it. And each one of the huge roll-ups are all locked. You've got your keys. It takes you a little bit of time to go through them. There's about 20 keys on there, and you're able to unlock the first one.
all right, unlock it, slowly move that clasp over and slowly try to roll this thing up because I know those things make a ton of noise.
Yep.
So I'm going to go really slow, very careful. And as soon as we get that first foot of space, shine our light on it and see what we see.
You don't see anything. So based off of where you're standing right now, it looks completely empty. There's no furniture. There's no boxes. There's no crates. You can see where there was phones on the wall, and the phones are gone.
Oh wow.
All right. All right. I'm just going to roll it up and jump up into the loading area and help my friends up, especially Arthur.
Archer takes the steps. He goes down to the other side and goes up the steps and comes around.
Work smarter, not harder. Damn.
I have a question. Through our walk over here, not necessarily psychoanalyzing or anything, would I be able to use like social sciences or science or any sort of just because he would be trained as like a psychologist?
That's what you do. Yeah.
Yeah, to kind of just try and tease out if Lucy what she felt, because I don't know if I know we've talked that she blacked out, but I think that Arthur would be interested to see like what that experience was for her and if there's anything that he can glean from it.
So obviously you can have a casual conversation with her. She makes it very clear that she felt like she blinked her eyes, right? And then it was just flash. That's what happened. If you want to do some more of a clinical back and forth, using some techniques, yeah, you let me know what you want to use and what you're hoping to glean.
I mean, I guess social sciences, because psychology.
Yep.
And you just trying to figure out what even if it's a split second, if she remembers anything, what her mind was going through when she woke up before she fell asleep, kind of psychoanalyzing backwards.
Do you want to spend any points?
Yeah, I'll spend a point.
All right, so that'll bring you down to 0 in social sciences.
Yes.
In your professional opinion, Arthur, and you're very deft in how you ask these questions, probably to the point where Lucy kind of knows what you're doing, but she doesn't feel invaded by the questions. So you're not, you'd ask 2 innocuous questions and a question that mattered, 2 innocuous questions and a questions that mattered. In your professional opinion, the closest you've seen to what happened to Lucy is maybe paranoid schizophrenia, multiple personalities. So in your professional opinion, there was something else expressing themselves from inside of Lucy. That's not a face, the physicality, all of it.
Yeah,
That's the closest you can come up with.
Okay. I don't think that he would say anything about that. He would probably just note it. He wouldn't say anything to the group or to Lucy herself. And he would act just nonchalant,
Yep.
head over to the steps and tell her he's glad that she's feeling better.
So you guys make it into the warehouse. Flashlights out.
You said it was completely vacant from end to end.
Like no joke. Like
Oh, wow.
stuff. This has been cleaned out.
I imagine there's doors at some end. Maybe on the far end would be like an exit out towards the back.
Yep.
Smoke den or
In
something.
fact, as best you can piece together, it's that long hallway, right, that runs the entire spine of this building. So yeah, that door's there. You open it; it's not even locked. And we'll do the montage here of you guys kind of going room by room by room, and outside of the records room, outside of the reception area, they're really like this place has been cleaned out. And, similar to what Lisa did, it wasn't yesterday. The only thing that feels like shows any type of recent is the tape on a lot of these boxes. Maybe that happened in the last, 3 weeks.
Would it be helpful to take photos of the documents room to see if there's, or you may have already done it. I don't know, but that we might be able to come back to with labels.
I definitely took a picture of where the group 1 was missing.
Gotcha.
Did we look at group 2's records at all?
We did not.
Well, since Lucy's feeling better, maybe we can hang out and do that.
I'll just stay out of that particular aisle.
Sounds good. Yeah, just stay away from the box with. Yeah.
Lucy, you want to join me in the warehouse? There's
Yes.
So Lisa and Archer, you head back to the records room, and you go to the part there that has the group 2 boxes. And we cutting the tape and kind of flipping through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
So a smaller group, instead of like 20 people, it's only about 10 people. There's 8 names you don't recognize. There's 2 you do.
2. Okay. Is it Austin and Margaret?
It is. You compare their applications, everything listed. No difference between their time at group 2 or group 3. At no point had Austin ever mentioned being a part of this study before being a part of the study with you.
All right. And science did nothing. Is it normally just everyone's vitals seem the same, or
Yep.
just similar to our trial?
Yep. You see a Debbie Reynolds application, very similar to the application that you saw for that Lisa found under the table there, right?
Okay.
So that was Dr. Michael Jones that she found. Here you do find Elisa, what did I say? Reynolds. What did I say her name?
Debbie.
Debbie Reynolds.
Thank you. Debbie Reynolds. And you did note Sarah's application in the group 3 box.
Oh.
Okay.
Is that Nurse Sarah? Okay.
We'll have her address.
You do. Yep. Her address is on there.
Write it down.
We've got everyone's address.
You do.
Even more breaking and entering.
PII.
Is this a felony back in 91 or?
Yeah.
Guess we're gonna find out.
Officer Bob showing up would be bad right now.
Yeah.
If we stand really still, he can't see us.
That didn't work.
Apparently, Lisa and Lucy just need to hop in a bush. Like,
Yeah, I mean, Arthur's beyond anything that a base science. So I'm not going to burn a science. So beyond anything else, he would just note down any important details amongst their records.
Yeah, and what we'll do is, in case it comes up again, Cody, is we'll just assume that anything that could be potentially significant you've jotted down. So if for some reason you need to refer back to it, we'll do a preparedness roll.
Okay.
Do any of these records have like blacking out as a symptom?
So I mentioned in group 3 there was blacking out, right? In group 2 there's none. So you only the only blacking out you've seen personally is Lucy. The only time you saw it noted was Jennifer's thing. And it was like 2 months ago that Jennifer noted. She hadn't noted it before or after. Nobody in group 2 noted it. Lucy obviously never noted it because it's just started happening. And the only thing, this is obvious, but I'm going to say it out loud, is just because it isn't marked down doesn't mean it didn't happen, right? None of you marked headaches.
Are headaches mentioned as a side effect?
You do see that spattered around. So not focused in any way, nothing drastic, but yeah, there's mention of mild headaches. And Archer's science knowledge, like people put down there, I had the flu last week and stuff like that. Like people are being somewhat thorough. But the key here is when you look at a group of data, you try to find commonalities. So really the only commonality that you've picked up is, periodic mentions of headaches, mild headaches, and then the blackout stood out because of what's been happening. And the way that Jennifer listed it at is she listed it as fainting, is what she attributed it to.
Okay.
I think
I'm gonna invade Austin's privacy some more.
Okay.
And just like take a really good look at his stuff.
So he never listed his condition. So at no point did he indicate on any of his 2 applications that he had any type of cognitive decline on there. Really nothing stands out to you, Lisa, looking at it. I mean, if you blocked out the names and went from sheet to sheet, there was nothing indicating outside of age. Him and Maggie are 2 of the older participants between the 2 groups. But outside of that, let's cut back to Lucy and Randall in the warehouse. What are you guys doing? What kind of questions does Randall have? Does Randall have any questions, or is Randall not a big talker?
Randall's not a big talker, knowing he's not going to diagnose what just happened, but seeing her in a healthy state at that moment brings relief and is enjoying the moment with her there in the warehouse.
Okay. So Lucy is a talker, right?
So how does Lucy deal with the uncomfortable silence?
She's gonna talk. like she's gonna be looking around the warehouse, like kind of feeling walls. Like, hey, Randall, do you think there's like any hidden doors here? Like maybe it's like a secret spy or something. And that's what she's doing around the warehouse to kind of keep herself busy as well, and talking at Randall.
Is that a typical coping mechanism for Lucy, the humor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah. And like she'll attempt to use notice, but it's an empty room. There's nothing here. She knows there's nothing.
I'm not even gonna let you spend a point.
Yeah.
Shadika, there's literally nothing to find here. So yeah, we exercise your notice, and what spending no points in your notice is that this place, the best word is the place was stripped. And it kind of lines up with a lot of what you saw in the other rooms as you kind of opened up doors and things, is It looks like the place has been stripped, and there might be, a desk here and a chair there, but phones, computers, outside of what's up in that front reception area.
Okay. She's gonna look at Randall and be like, "Should we take our profiles?"
That's a great idea.
You guys have
With-
the records room?
With the issues with Nurse, yeah. Let's.
Yeah, like should we just?
We're gonna go to the door and we're gonna yell down the hallway.
Hey.
Get our shit.
Hey, steal our records.
So you can hear the yell coming through. Lisa at this point has got just group 2 spread all around her in stacks, and and I would imagine, correct me if I'm wrong, like this is kind of your happy place a little bit, right? Like
Yeah.
journalist, researcher Lisa, like yes, I want to find out what's going on. Put it all around me.
I love knowing everything about everyone.
Exactly. But Archer, you hear kind of Randall going, hey.
Yeah, he'll yell back, and we'll get the go ahead to grab the records. And I think
So you guys going to do that? You're going to grab your personal folders?
we'll grab
And
all
Austin.
of
Oh man, I was gonna say
you all.
I was gonna grab the box.
Yeah.
The cameras don't work that we
I-
know of.
Arthur is interested. There might be more to glean. He's looked at it at a first glance. He's gonna grab the box. And
Yeah.
Leave the pills.
So to be clear,
Yeah.
group 3 has 3 boxes.
Okay.
And you guys, based off of your last names, are kind of spread between 2 of them. So do you want to grab 1 box and move 2 folders over? Do you want to grab 2 boxes? What do we want to do?
We're gonna grab 2 boxes.
Okay.
I'm gonna motion to Lisa and say, Lisa, this third box. There's more info on our group here. We should grab that when we're headed out of here. Sounds like we're getting ready to wrap up.
Lucy's gonna ask, "Is there any boxes in there about like what it's made from?"
So looking through that, both in the time that you were there before and in the time that you were here, there does not seem to be anything about the manufacturing of the drug. Literally, the only indication about the drug is in the study information it's mentioned, and then the box of drugs that you had a vague interest in, Lucy.
Just vague.
Quit looking at it.
A little bit.
Oh.
Don't even think about it.
Okay.
Stop thinking about the box.
I'm not thinking about the box.
What's in the
What's in the
box?
box? You can't have a horror game without mentioning that once.
Oh man.
Yeah, Arthur has 2 boxes. Hoping that we can get the third one out of here. And
They're gonna.
I'll meet him
notice
halfway
that
down the hallway and
these
grab
are
one from him.
gone.
Lisa, they're not recording us. It doesn't matter if they notice.
I guess if we're stealing everyone's.
Actually, I'm going to go up to the front desk and make sure that where the lady wrote our names down to go make copies. I'm going to look for that note. If it's there in the trash can or on her desk, I'm snatching.
Yeah, you find it in
from
the
her
trash
pocket.
can. You can see just kind of the scrap paper that she jotted your names down to go back there. You find that. Yeah, you have no trouble grabbing that. You stuff it in your pocket.
I'll
Put the
take that and
keys
then I'll-
back.
Yeah. Fingerprints.
Oh, yeah, take them.
No, they got lost somewhere. Yeah, I'm going to hold on to the keys. But yeah, I'm going to go grab the other box.
Okay. So we've got all group 3 boxes leaving with you. The keys are leaving with you. Anything else that's important? And Lisa, as far as taking pictures, I'm assuming that you're doing that more often than not. So it'll be a similar situation to what I mentioned with Cody. So if we're in a situation where you're like, Craig, I think I took a picture of that, depending on how crazy that is, we might do a preparedness roll for it. But I don't want you to feel like you have to give me a picture of everything that you took there, and then I'm going to say you never said that. That's not how I do things.
Sure. We should probably pack the group 2 boxes back up and reseal them. Despite that, it probably doesn't matter that much since we're stealing these 3. But
Yep, it doesn't take long.
Yeah. So I will do
Side toilet.
that and then carry the third, second, whatever number box I have been assigned to steal.
All right, so the three. So Arthur's got a box, Lisa's got a box, Randall's got a box. Lucy, you see the three of them come into the warehouse, where you're kind of sitting, looking for trapdoors, and they come in. They're all holding boxes, and we can montage to you guys getting back to the car.
I don't get a box.
There were only 3. No, you don't get a
You-
box after
you
the
already-
last time.
Last time you had a box, it went wrong.
All right,
Touche.
so we montage to you guys driving back. Get back to the bar where everybody's cars are parked. It's late. I'd like to get a kind of an idea of what we're doing now. I mean, we're easily at midnight now.
Okay. Okay.
We need to find a safe place to store these files. We've got to get some rest because we've got our friend's funeral tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got some addresses to visit. We should probably have those applications handy so we know the addresses off the top of our head.
Agreed.
Everybody going back to their respective homes?
Yeah.
If you all don't mind, Lisa would like to take the boxes home.
Okay.
Everybody good with that? Leaving them in the station wagon and let Lisa take them home? Do you live alone, Lisa?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, cat, but yes.
Cats.
I'm going to ask Lucy if she feels well enough to be by herself tonight or whatever living arrangements she has based off
Oh
of what
my.
happened.
So I live in like a small 1-bedroom. If anyone want to crash with me, my couch is super comfortable. Not saying you have to.
I'll be Brother Bear. I'll go
That's
make
a-
sure she's all right. Yeah,
Okay.
that's kind of the protective nature of Randall.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, in fact, I think it's to the point where we see Lucy opening up the door to her little apartment. And Randall, I imagine it's the first time you've ever been here. And Lucy nervously picks up, I did not expect guests, right? And maybe Lucy steps back into her room for a second. And I'm imagining, Randall, that you would take that opportunity to maybe make her something, like go into the kitchen, find some sort of food that you could throw together, some sort of food for her. And I really am imagining that big brother vibe and that medic in you and that caretaker in you as that happens. Yeah. Lucy comes back out with pillows and a sheet for you on the couch. And how about you, Arthur?
Yeah, I think. Honestly, he would just be racking his brain over his notes. He would want to research more into like what the more of the groups, what their medical records are, any sort of correlations that he can find. So beyond his notes, I think he's gonna try and get a good night's sleep and be up for his lost buddy Austin's wake or funeral.
No. So let's step through this for each of you. So Arthur, you've got your notebook. Maybe pull down some books about schizophrenia, cognitive breaks, just kind of study up on that a little bit. I'm imagining you laying in bed. You totally wear pajamas, old man pajamas. Little slippers.
Does he have
butt flap.
the cap?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
And he's got slippers.
He wears like the eye shield too.
Oh, no question. No question. So I'm imagining, as the kind of the music's playing, we see Arthur kind of fall asleep with a book on his chest, and we kind of cut to Lisa. She made a pot of coffee when she got home, is what I'm imagining. And when we fade to black at about 2 a.m., there's papers scattered everywhere. Boxes are open. And I just imagining you, just delving into it until you just get to the point that you're exhausted and the caffeine wears off. And Lucy, you're in your room. Randall's kind of all set there. And, you kind of just go right to bed, maybe. Does that sound like something? It's been a hell of a day.
I would have like low instrumental music on, just super low so I can hear it. and then lay down and try to sleep.
Yep. And then, Randall on the couch. You've slept on
Yeah,
worse.
I see Randall kind of being that guy that wants to make sure he's the last to sleep and also get a comfort of the area and maybe just keep an eye out that window that faces the front where the car's parked and to see if there's anything suspicious, just to give it a little bit of time to see if he does sense any kind of trouble
Yeah.
after they've arrived.
So, Lucy, if you've spent, Shadika, if you've spent any of your research,
Hiding.
yep. So go ahead and all your skills, investigative skills and general skills, you can replenish. You have a really good night's sleep. The music helped. So let's go ahead and let's restore, because that's one of your sources of stability. Let's go ahead and restore that to you to 5 stability. So let's gain a point of stability for you. Lisa, same thing. I'd like you to be up completely on all of your investigative as well as your general. And maybe you called your mom?
Sure, yeah.
Was that one of your sources of stability?
Yep.
Let's do that. So let's get you up to 7. So let's restore 1.
My mom also stays up really late at night.
That's where you got it from. All right, Arthur. Let's do the same. Let's restore all of your general and your investigatives back up to full. Is there anything we're doing about your stability? What are your sources of stability?
He loves taking notes profusely. He gets kind of like a cathartic rush. But he also loves sweets. So I imagine he might have busted open the cabinet and pulled out some sweets from, Russia and just kind of dipped into those before he dozed off.
I like it. So let's put you back up to 8.
Cool.
Randall, you kind of doze off. Not sure how great your sleep is. Very tentative, very aware of the front door. Actually, very aware of Lucy's door, right? And listening to Lucy's there. But you do doze off and fall asleep. You're a pretty vivid dreamer. And unfortunately, I think with what you saw in Vietnam, some of the dreams aren't great. So I want to cut to you dreaming. Your eyes flutter open and you can tell you didn't wake up. And you're not at Lucy's. You're thinking maybe you're on a sidewalk. And you kind of step up and you see your old tent when you didn't have a home. And there's part of your brain that knows, like, this isn't right, but I'm dreaming, and and you stand up, you start walking, and as you're walking down the sidewalk, it's dark, and the buildings are familiar. As you're walking past them, you don't know where you're headed really. But then the buildings start to repeat. You've already walked past that building. Hands feel funny. So like you run your hand like this and like tingly a little bit. You stop. And everything fades away. And it's not like it got dark. It's like physically everything around you fades away. And there's a little pin light in front of you. It's far away. It starts getting bigger and bigger. And the light's not growing. It's getting closer. You kind of blink your eyes as it's starting to get, now it's getting really bright, and there's nothing else around but the light, and it's really bright. It's starting to hurt your eyes, and you're putting your hand up, and you're kind of shielding yourself. And I think it was the noise. You hear the horn. And then you wake up. And you're standing on train tracks. And the train's close. You jump to the side. And it's the train speeds by you. And you're just laying on the ground, wearing the clothes that you fell asleep in. We fade to black. Let's run the credits. We'll be right back.
You absolutely kill it.
So
Killed it.
It makes me very
we're back. We're
Yeah.
back live just in time for you to get the tail end of my compliment. So welcome back, everybody. I appreciate you sitting through the credits. There was a huge exhale when we went to credits among the cast. We got to start with you, Nick. Whoa, that was an interesting ending to episode 2.
I'm not gonna lie. My limited experience with RPGs, mostly fantasy and Star Wars and steampunk, that felt real. Like I had that pit in my stomach. Like I'm dead. I don't want to leave this group. This group is awesome. How am I supposed to protect Lucy? How am I supposed to be there to like I was thinking these things as a player, and that's how immersed I felt. And you made it, and it was fantastic, right?
Oh,
That
I'm
was
glad.
an awesome outro.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Did it? What it like? I mean, granted, the description lasted maybe 60 seconds. Like, I'd be very curious to know, like, your thought process as I was giving information.
It was trying to figure out what I'm seeing, and how it's relating to some of the stuff I've heard Lucy talk about situations like, oh, is there someone else maybe walking down a street that, like similar to her breaking into that house, or that she had that vision of someone else breaking into a house. And then it got to a real panic, like I might die in this. This might be the end of my character. I saw his limited session 1 life flash before his eyes. Like it was, I felt it.
I'm
It got
glad.
me the feels.
Shadika, you
Yes.
also had an interesting episode as a player. I think we covered what Lucy's thinking. I'd be curious for you.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what I have. I think I have a theory of what's happening, but
Let's hear it.
so from her visions, like when she saw someone breaking into not Arthur or Austin's house, I think maybe she's the killer.
Interesting.
Is one theory I have, because she just blacked out. But again, so far she hasn't blacked out until that first time that she knows about,
Yeah.
that she can recall. but it's a lot. It's stressful, but I am super happy I'm not the only one that's like doing this now.
Misery loves company.
Yeah. It's like,
Cody, what's going through your mind as a player? I'm not worried about Arthur.
Yeah, I mean, the compliment at the end of it, your monologues absolutely set the tone, and I mean, I felt just like encapsulated in the moment
glad.
there. It I don't think that I have a single clue as to what's going right now.
Well, let's frame it this way, Cody. What do you think was the two big things you learned playing in this session? So at the beginning of the session, you knew X. Now you know X plus 2. What are those? What's the plus 2?
Well, we know that this drug company is now defunct for years, and I was really looking forward to going into their their research and kind of all of the nitty gritty on the drug itself. If I could get that, can't. So I'm interested to see what these maybe doctors, if we can get in contact with them, have to say.
Yeah. How about you, Victoria?
Like what things did my character learn, or what?
No, I want to focus on Victoria the player. I want to know kind of your thoughts about the session, maybe big learnings, whatever you want to talk about. Did you have fun?
Oh yeah, of course. Like I'm really interested in looking into the new drug company. I already forgot their name. This is why
the practice.
The practice. I am very curious about them. Also, like giving Lisa stuff to dig into is fantastic because it's like her thing. And also, I think I might possibly have an idea of what's going on with Lucy.
Let's hear it.
I'm guessing since Archer seems to think it might be schizophrenia or multiple personalities, maybe it's some sort of possession thing. As far as Randall, I have no idea yet because that kind of just sounded like sleepwalking to me. Like really intense sleepwalking, but also I have no idea like with that dream because I thought it was going somewhere else entirely. Like
where did you think it was going?
I thought he was also going to be looking through someone else's eyes as they committed a crime.
Gotcha. All right. So, for you, Nick, what do you think is next? So what are things as you kind of are decompressing from session 2, start thinking about session 3? What are some things you hope to figure out in session 3?
I'm actually linking the one common thing is things are happening in our psyche in some way, shape, or form, and I'm hoping to see more of that to where we can start putting, drawing the red line on the wall and circling it, putting the pin, and doing the
pulling out the yarn.
Yep. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. Also, I want to get my hands on this nurse. I want to go talk to her and figure out why she hung up on my boy twice. And
has nothing to do with the investigation. She was rude.
How dare you hurt his feelings?
Yeah, Arthur never swears, but he swore.
You're anticipating wanting to talk to the group into going to see Nurse Sarah. It sounds like.
Yeah, and I know we call him Michael Jones, Dr. Michael Jones, but the whole time I was going Mike Jones, which is not a '90s reference, but it was in my head the entire time, and it took everything in my power not to do it in the middle of our session.
So those are two things you think a visit, tracking down Dr. Jones and tracking down Nurse Sarah. Those are kind of on your list.
I think so. I think that's the route that we should be taking, assuming nothing gets, connected with Lisa going through her thing.
Well, and possibly Debbie on that list also from group 2.
the other nurse. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and
Go ahead, Shadika.
I would say and
Ellen.
Jen Parker.
Yeah, we should talk to
I'm
her
like,
too.
wow.
Talk to
Yeah, 'cause
everyone.
she was the other one that had the blackouts, right?
Hmm.
Yes.
Just start
Um,
harassing randos on the street.
How about for you, Shadika? Is there things that you want to make sure that you guys start poking into, or is there anything that Nick didn't talk about that's kind of an itch that needs scratching?
I want to say Nick pretty much covered everything I want to do because I can't wait for these conversations to happen. It's going to be glorious. And just how we decide to actually approach it. Um, is there anything else? Like, still the car question is in her mind, but if the company was brought out and if they're actually watching us, and it makes sense if they have more money to just buy a new car somewhere. So that's probably a dead end of me just assuming this. Um, and no, that talking to the people is like the next step.
Yeah. Yeah. And is there anybody on your list that Nick didn't mention, or is it? We've mentioned both Group 2 nurse Sarah, so
Mhm.
Nurse Reynolds, Nurse Sarah, and then Dr. Jones. Is there anybody else that you think needs a visit?
For me, it would primarily be Jennifer
Mm,
Parker, because she has the same symptoms as myself. So she kind of wants to know that was anyone else around when you blacked out? What were you doing?
yeah, yeah. I think that'd be important to figure out.
Yeah.
Definitely important to figure out. Um, that was a good session. It was mechanically, we got to showcase the game, which I was really happy with. I think even more than we did in the session one. Um, it's I mean, it was a full until the end. It was full investigation. The entire episode was all investigation, and it makes me like Gumshoe a little bit more each time we use it. I didn't have to have you roll for library and stuff like that. And again, I'm not talking. I love Call of Cthulhu, but I do love going it down. Oh, Jim has a interesting one. Two interesting questions. Who's going to be at the funeral?
Well, we know Lisa's gonna be late.
Hey,
Are all four of you planning on going to the funeral tomorrow?
Oh yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep.
Oh,
And
we can
then
find out who's there too. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
and then Jim also wants to know. He wonders if the neighbor has seen our sedan.
Ooh.
That. Thank you, Jim.
She was
Yeah.
very sus. I didn't want to say anything because I was not involved in that scene, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I just
she
want her
was
to stop
very
calling the
sus.
cops on us. That's all.
I know.
No, that's legit though. It's
Give
yeah.
me a break.
There's a lot of strands here, and I'm going to tie it back into talking about Gumshoe a little bit. In a right mystery game, there should be multiple strands, right? I prefer not to have a ton of red herrings out there. In fact, I lean more on no red herrings than some, but sometimes just red herrings happen. But it's here where I think the Gumshoe system is interesting, which is you have a group, they have a set of skills, and there's enough fun and interest in having all of the yarn and all the push pins on the board and having the players as characters figure this out, that you don't necessarily have to rely on a roll to do that. I find it very, very interesting. It's interesting to navigate as a GM too, because one thing that's important to me is to make sure that when you spend points, they matter. And I will say that Hannerhan and Laws do a very good job in the book saying, here's the tier 1, here's the tier 2, here's the tier 3, and they give you the tools you need as a GM. We have gone in directions that aren't covered in the book, and we've done things different in the order, and that's wonderful. I mean, this is supposed to be a quote unquote one shot, which, keep in mind, a one shot is 4 or 5 hours in person, right? Which is a lot different than doing it on a stream here. I mean, if we go 5-6 sessions, I won't be shocked. And I'll be honest with you, I won't be disappointed, because I like our pace. I like what we're doing. I like how everybody is going. So I think that's wonderful. All right. So very, very quickly, for those of you watching. Jim, if you don't mind, you should be able to start scouting for raids. There should be a button on your right-hand side for raid. Do you see that? I can't hear you, buddy. You're still muted. You're muted on OBS. There you go. I can hear you. I don't know if anybody else can. Start a raid. Do you see that button? Okay. Don't start the raid, but you can click on that and it should bring up a list of potential things. So I'll let you pick who that is as I go through the closing stuff. All right. So very quickly, behind the scenes, Jim has been here helping us run the chat and kind of watching things for us, making sure the stream stays live. Frees me up considerably. So big hats off to Jim, a good buddy of mine. 2, the source and the kind of the origin of Third Floor Wars is the Tabletop Talk podcast. If you haven't subscribed to it, check it out. I have got interviews coming out every week, episodes coming out every week. Some of them are focused on tabletop gaming, miniature gaming, mostly Malifaux, but a lot of it lately has been focused on interviewing developers and designers. Episode 129 is when I interviewed Robin D. Laws, who is one of the creators of this game, Fear itself, but the creator of the Gumshoe system that you hear me talk a lot about. So you can find Tabletop Talk from Third Floor Wars on all the major podcasts. I mentioned Patreon. These 4 lovely people have been patrons of mine for a while. It's one of the perks of being a patron. There's really not a whole lot of perks other than that. You get early releases of the podcast. We allow you to pledge at any level. And it's really meant of hey, throw me a buck and it helps keep the lights on. So I appreciate that. You can go to Third Floor Wars on Patreon. Real quick, Friday, August 6th. That's this Friday at 9 p.m. We are doing a big reveal, exclusive reveal from Weird Games. Come by at 9 o'clock. Nick is going to be there. I've got 2 other guests. We're going to be showing the new models that Weird has not released to anybody, but we're releasing it. We're going to be announcing it Friday night. I expect a lot of people to be in the chat. We're going to be taking questions from the chat. I'm really looking forward to that. So it's 9 p.m. here on Twitch and YouTube. Friday, August 6th. Wednesday, August 11th, a week from today, 6 p.m. Eastern, is episode 3 of Fistful of Credits, our Star Wars campaign. So make sure you stick by for that. Thursday, August 19th at 8 p.m., the very popular Forbidden Lands, episode 6 of our Forbidden Lands. And then Saturday, August 21st at 9 p.m., episode 4 of Fear itself. So we've got a couple weeks here to let these guys figure out why Randall likes to jump in front of trades.
3, not
3
4.
weeks. Yeah.
No, episode 3.
Oh, episode 3. Did I say 4? Yeah, episode 3.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you. Now episode 4, I'm just going to do without you guys around.
No.
All right.
I gotta
Those of
say,
you
how
stuck
great
around-
was that commercial?
Oh
Doug's
yeah.
commercial.
Oh yeah, Doug.
Doug's commercial, yes.
Yeah, Victoria's wife's Doug, who you know from Steam Power
My wife.
Scoundrels. He's the best wife that Victoria's ever had. Lovely wife, pretty woman. It was.
Here he comes.
There's Doug. Doug's a good buddy and is also, like his wife, a great player. You can see him on the Good Scum and the Villainy Star Wars, which we're on hiatus with right now, but. Steam Powered Scoundrels, we need to talk about the podcast Steam Powered Scoundrels. That's where you get a whole lot more of Victoria and her husband. We need to talk about what else, guys, real quick. Anything else? Any other big plugs?
We also have a Patreon.
Yes.
So if you like our podcast, come throw us a couple bucks if you can.
If you like watching Doug and Victoria play in my games, go to their Patreon and let them know. That's another way you can let them know. Where are we headed, Jim? Ink and Liar. Excellent. All right, let's hop over there. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks.
You just give me the thumbs up, Jim, when we're there.
Yep, my iPad just switched.